Output bang. Alright, hopefully. Alright, I see Twitch live. I see YouTube live. Alright, we did it. We did it wonderful. Hello, gang. Today, another stream. It's Winston's birthday. Go Q so you can snipe. I'm going to be taking one warm-up game first. Just while I wait for people to get in, as well as I drink some water and warm up my mouth a little bit so I can talk through my thought process. Oh, Winston aim. You ready for the streamly bit? What up, Sayed? X10? What up? Good to see you back. Yo, thank you so much for the follow. Aurora's Or? Wait, that's a tough name. Bang, bang, bang! Made it to a stream! Welcome, welcome in, Aurora! Hello, Blake! Good seeing you all in. It's Winston's birthday. Did you guys know that? Winston was born on June 6th. I'm pretty sure. Wait, hold on. Let me fact check. When is Winston's birthday? A better world is possible today. Winston from the Fox comedy New Girl is May 2nd, but Winston Overwatch is June 6th, so it's Winston's birthday. If it wasn't, that'd be kind of awkward. Do you guys think that it would be wrong of me to upload 2 tank videos in a row? So it's like, since I uploaded a Queen video yesterday, what if I just upload the Winston video today? Would that be wrong of me? I think I might. I'm probably just gonna upload the SOJURN video. And then if we have time today before my scrims start, I'll be running a poll to see what support we want to play. And then we'll run through some support rank lessons as well. Happy Winston Day! We all celebrate. And I low-key got, like, I commissioned a cake. It's on its way. It's a complete and utter lie, but I like to dream. I'm really, really, really excited to talk about Winston, because this is, like, I think one of the 3 heroes that I'm, like, disgustingly, like, passionate about. Winston is my guy. This is, like... I don't necessarily have like an exact main. I could tell you like 5 heroes that you could consider my main. My quote unquote like mains are like Winston, Reinhardt, Wrecking Ball, Tracer, Widow, Lucio. And then I got like a few others like barely sneaking in. Like I like Kiriko, I like they swap Reaper. Is it not safe even in quick play? Does the entire enemy team just want to try to counter swap? I don't even think Reaper is like a big counter with Winston. I'm gonna be for real. I think that's like, it's like the common like knowledge that like, oh, Reaper counters Winston. I just think it's cap. I just think it's not true really. Winston should just be able to outmaneuver a Reaper fairly consistently. Now, Echo is a little bit difficult for Winston to deal with. Damn, they want me dead. Unfortunately, I got angry. I didn't want them killing me. Notice that too, so many counter swappers in quick play. I don't play quick play too often. I have been playing a lot of quick play recently to prep for a challenge stream coming up pretty soon, which I'm very excited about. But that's just to sort of see what's possible. Hopefully, if my timeline works out, later this week we're gonna be having some pretty big event streams. It's not just going to be the Overwatch rank lessons. It's still going to be very, very like educational focused content. It's going to be similar to the Overwatch ranked lessons, but there's going to be a good bit more. I don't want to say too much because last time I talked about it for a while, the idea kind of got snatched up really quick, or a similar idea that I had got snatched up, but I'm very excited for it, and I really want to make it into a good video. Bro, I feels really nice. I'm really excited for the future of sort of like content things that I'm able to make, because I've been getting like a lot of support and help with the channels and videos. So if you guys see in the stream about where you can see like the FAQ, the I actually don't remember what's actually listed all down there. But I've been working with an artist who's been wonderful and has made a new emote that I believe y'all can use in the chat. Yep, there it is. Or for Twitch chat. I don't know how to put it on YouTube yet. I'm sorry, YouTube audience. I'll figure that out soon. I'm just a super noob when it comes to YouTube stuff. But I've been getting a lot of help. I've been talking with some editors recently as well to see if I'm able to get more forms of content out, since I have a lot of ideas for long form and short form videos, as well as freeing up time will allow me to sort of chase and get a little bit better. Like, I'll be able to focus more on getting like actual footage and like making the ideas into like raw elements so I can actually make them into videos instead of spending my time like editing them, if that makes sense. But for topics that I'm really passionate about, I'm gonna do it myself. So I'm still spending a lot of time in my days editing, or like building up like the editing skill set and whatnot, so that I'm able to properly make the videos that I'm gonna be a little bit stingy about. Like, I was working on a Theory Thursday video for the past little bit. The reason why there was like a week or so missed of Theory Thursday is because the topic that I started writing a script for, I realized I was really passionate about it. I felt I really want to get it right. So I kept like working on it and trying to like revise it to the point where like I've had a lot in my life, just like a kind of like perfectionism issues. That's what the ranked lessons actually were originally supposed to help me fix, because I've been wanting to make content for a really long time, but I could never hit the upload button because I never thought whatever I made was good enough. So I just set a goal for myself of I'm just gonna upload every day. I just need to hit the upload button every day. I just need to get a video out. And so the ranked lessons were born, or I started thinking about what could I do every day. I came across a Bellatra YouTuber, Bellatra University, who helped me learn a lot about Bellatra, and I actually, tangent on a tangent, but I play a lot, or I used to play a lot of Bellatra, and the PvP mode for Bellatra is so much fun. I grinded it for a really long time, and I ended up getting very good. Well, solid, I think. I got to like the top, like, or the second highest rank in it, and it was so much fun trying to actually like figure out and learn the game. And I thought that process, which was so enjoyable to me to learn Bellatra, and the Bellatra University channel helped me out quite a bit. I'm like, wait a second, it'd be really hard since Overwatch is a real-time game, but I babble a ton when I play. I could speak through my thought process when I play Overwatch like this guy is doing for Bellatra. So that's what I started with, to try to get daily uploads out, because I mean, I'm playing Overwatch every day. The longest period, or the longest break I ever took from Overwatch in the past decade has been like 2 weeks. And that was when I was like literally across the world from my computer. And even then, I still found a way to, I got like a laptop so I could scrim. So I'm playing Overwatch. So if I just like talked through my process as I played, I figured that that'd be really sustainable, and it definitely feels like it is. I'm nowhere close to burning out. Dodge guide, I get it. I really get it. Oh my god, no. That's one of the other. I actually have 3 scripts in the works right now for Theory Thursday. Movement is one of my favorite topics in Overwatch. Or just in video games in general. Movement is so cool and intricate, and there's so much to it. Like, I love Tracer for that reason. Tracer movement is so sick. But I started working on the movement video. I ran into a similar issue of like, wow, there's so many ways that I could show this, but I don't have the skills yet to really like get it into a video. Hey, almost on vacation, currently sick with a fever, putting on your live to pass time. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better, bro. I'm about to be talking a lot about Winston and Sojourn coming up. I'm gonna play... What time is it? 4 almost? I'll play one more quick play. His birthday? It's not my birthday today. It's Winston's birthday, though. So a big part of me is celebrating. I think I had a tweet once of like, Winston to me is like Candy Crush to a soccer mom, if that makes sense. It's a part of me. Yes, my emo is Nagisa. It's so awesome. I'm actually super happy with it. Right, dodge or movement. I had so many ideas of how I wanted to actually like portray movement and talk about it, because it's kind of hard to really show just through words alone. And I need a lot of visual representation to kind of get my point across of how effective movement can be and how to actually implement it into your own gameplay. So I spent a lot of time thinking through the ideas and trying to build up the skill set to do so, and it'll come out eventually. It's actually going... It's one of the things that I feel like will come out fairly quickly. But I really get its celerity. I'm just super excited to get more ambitious projects going, since Overwatch Every Day is awesome. I really enjoy making them, but my like real passions, I think, in content creating come from more so telling a story that has like education like layered into it, if that makes sense. Something like a Wolfie VGC video is a similar to the style that I'll probably be leaning into for future videos. You have a section in your Tracer 1v1 video that has just different variations of Blink and how they interact with the player model animations. Yeah, yep, I get it a lot. I spent a lot of time like thinking about Tracer blinks and like Tracer movement in general, especially in the Tracer 1v1s, because I had a best friend for like many years who played Overwatch with me. And they're really fucking good at Tracer, like disgustingly good at Tracer, mechanically especially. Like they are really good aim wise. And I would just like what would happen is we would be like queuing ranked, and then if we were ever losing, they would just take me into the Tracer 1v1 and just like beat me because I was like a Reinhardt Lucio 2 trick. I had no hands at the time. So they would just like stomp me for a little bit, but through like years of that, I eventually thought like through like all of the different like ways that you can get advantages in the Tracer 1v1s through not just raw mechanics, because I don't think I'll ever be able to out-aim that person, but I studied a lot to the point where we were eventually able to, I wasn't like winning, but it was like 40-60s in like the Tracer 1v1s or like TXCXXs. Same vibe. Would be blinking to the wall. Yo, low key, when I was competing on Tracer a few seasons ago, like most of the time what I would think about is just like where the enemy Tracer is gonna blink. I would just blow people up. It was so fun. I just adore Tracer. I made a fun tier list. Actually, that's gonna be something that I want to start doing a little bit more when I lean a bit more into streams, which is going to happen fairly soon after our team's trials are done, or my team's trials are done. is going to be, or I plan on streaming quite a bit more, since the main sort of limiting factor for me right now is, I have a lot of sort of like communication, like prep work things to do as I get more help with, well, I tried to shoot before melee. Alright, this is why we warm up. I have a lot of different aspects about like sort of growing the channel and content right now that I'm trying to handle, as well as I have a very difficult time in sort of like transition period. So whenever I like start a stream or stop a stream to like go from one task to another, and I have like ridiculous ADHD. It was to the point where when I got re-diagnosed last year or the year before, I walked into the psychiatrist's office, they looked at the paper and went, whoa. And I was like, yo, I'm cooked. No, I'm too cooked. I'm too cooked. So, main thing right now is I don't want to be streaming my scrims at the moment because we're running trials, and I have a few ideas and theories of what makes a winning team, and most of it being synergy. So when I'm sort of like meeting new people and playing the game with them, I really want to make the environment as comfortable as possible. So I don't want to sort of put like any stress on the people of like being on stream or anything like that. While like I kind of get to know them, and then I'd like talk through further like with whatever our final roster ends up being to see who's comfortable with what. But hopefully I'll be able to just stream our scrims like most of the time, and then that would sort of take away like a big kind of like transitional period for me, if that makes sense. So I'd be able to just continue streaming a lot more and just generally get up more content. And as I get more help with like editing and actually like making the videos and like the MP4s are gonna upload, it'll be really, really good for me to just get like a bunch of content for videos. And I want to keep everything like quite educational for a while. Like everything's going to be focused on educational aspects about Overwatch, and anytime that it steps a little bit more into an entertainment direction instead of educational, that'll be made by like me, like personally, because I feel really I know that's the direction that I want to take, but I kind of want to carve that path myself, if that makes sense. And I want the experience to know how I got there. How close are we to that streaming PC? I actually messed around a little bit, and I ended up finding a solution that works for now. I'm planning on the streaming PC, basically, because I'm able to record and stream at the same time now. It's still not ideal for my computer, but it's fine. It's workable for right now. So the streaming PC got moved down a little bit on my priority list, and right now it's mainly just like I want to make sure that I have money for like anyone who's like offering to like sort of like help me grow the channel in any way. I want to make sure that people are compensated properly. So most of my budget is towards that right now, and the streaming PC isn't really necessary. I did get some more storage because as I start to stream more, I was thinking it'd be really nice to have like any editors be able to just kind of instantly like start like grabbing like any content. So actually yesterday I was able to automate everything that I record is just instantly uploaded to like a drive, so that editors are able to start working on like Overwatch everyday stuff before like I even stop streaming. We all buy me a new PC. YT, if you join our team and we win FACEIT next season, I'll get you a PC, bro. I'm not saying what PC, but I'll get you a PC. Gulp. Who knows? Maybe, what if it's like Ninja's old computer? Or I could just go to like my printer and like print the letters PC and then send them to you in an envelope. Hey, you never really know. Life is a box of chocolates. Yeah, PC is a box of parts. There's still... I always get so surprised at, like, how, like, long quick play, like, rounds are. It makes sense because, like, you only play the one round, so you want a little bit of extra time in the sort of, like, game modes like these. But I was, like, thinking, like, okay, it's about time that it starts to wrap up. And there's still just 2 minutes left. Let me know in the chat if you want to start with Winston for ranked lessons, or if we want to start with our Sojourn for ranked lessons. I'm down for either. I just want to talk about those 2 heroes right now. And hopefully I'll be able to get back a little bit later. And then we can do some support ranked lessons, but, well, I'll see. I'll see. The goal right now is either want to be streaming later tonight or tomorrow morning to get the support ranked lessons. And more, actually. I just really want, I just like streaming. I like talking about the game. I like creating content that I can turn into videos later. Soj, best for last. Birthday boy first. I'm not feeling too mechanically inclined today, but that's okay. Am I joining a team? No, my team is sort of like reshaping a little bit. Some people are like, primarily like 2 of our team members are kind of like unsure if they want to like join a different team or not. Or one of them wants to join other teams, and then the other one's just kind of unsure, so we're just trialing a few positions. So it's like going to be the same like core of players. Unless I get like offered a gazillion dollars or by like Team Liquid or something, I'm probably not going to be joining another team. I trialed for a few teams, like I did the Lunex Academy trials, but unfortunately I just didn't have the time to continue with them. Also, with how they're sort of structuring it, I don't think I would be a very good fit as a player in that team. Not saying that the structure is bad at all, it's just I don't think I would fit much in there. Okay. Maybe I need to play a little bit of Axe. Maybe Loki, what if we do Winston first? What if we do the birthday boy first? Let's give my hands a second to wake up. Oh, it's actually probably I just need more water. I have not been drinking water today. Water is scary, bro. Birthday boy, come on. Do you think playing strong or even underpowered characters make you worse at the game? No, I think they make you better. I think if you're actively forcing weaker characters consistently and still finding ways to win, that process that you are forced to take to win on the weaker heroes is going to allow you to like be very, very good later or on different heroes, or like stronger ones. I think one of like the kind of core ideas that I really like is limitation breeds creativity. So if you are... Ooh. Wait, we're gonna see 9. Hold on. Oh no, okay. I can't see my screen? That's okay. We're gonna start with Winston so I can actually hit my shots when Sojourn comes. One of the ideas, I forgot what philosopher kind of said it, but limitation breeds creativity, which I think it can be applied to a lot of things, and I think it's really awesome. And I strongly believe in it for Overwatch, especially because every time that you're forced to think outside the box, you're pressured to build a better understanding of the game and what value is inherently, rather than just picking like the known solution, which only pushes you towards your execution of the easy execution. But playing a weaker hero usually means that the execution of any of their ideas is going to need to be a lot better anyways. So weaker heroes forces you to play for better ideas and better execution of those ideas. So if you're able to force a weaker hero and still find success, I believe that it makes you a better player. Yeah, game already. Yeah, that was a really fast queue for Champ 4. Watching this while EU queues or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, like, usually most of the time I'm queuing, like, Champ 4, Champ 3, Champ 2. Like, it lasts, like, I usually have, like, 10-minute queues, 15-minute queues minimum. I guess it depends on the time of the day. It is, like, probably prime queue time. Oh, and it's Saturday, right? Yeah, it's Saturday. So it's probably a good time to queue. Let me take a quick sip of water and then I'll lock in. Alright, and we get our first game for today. Today we're going to be forcing Winston everywhere that we can. If they are banned in our lobby, then I'll play like, I don't know. It's Winston's birthday, so I want to keep playing the birthday boy as long as we can. Maybe I'll talk about like Road Dogg if Winston's banned. But with our composition in this map on Oasis, Winston has a lot of different options on how they want to approach the game and can be approaching a lot of different fights. So with our team composition, we're probably going to be playing a lot around our backline. So we want to keep an eye on wherever our backline is pathing, primarily our Ana and our Emre, and following up on a lot of the sight lines that they might get onto the enemy team. So as we see the opposing Emre start to walk a bit, I'm going to be looking for a step to bubble them off, and as their team wants to peel me, I'm just going to kite back to my Ana. Since our team didn't want to fight on that left side, which is perfectly a-okay, we're just going to be trying to live the best that we can. A massive chain coming out from our Mizuki, though with the Tracer and Wrecking Ball, it's going to keep us in a bit of a dangerous situation, and we will be forced back to the spawn. Wrecking Ball on that left side and their comp being very, very hit focused, we're going to be wanting to play a little bit more for our to like force out the threats of the enemy team. Since our backline is very, very strong once they get set up, our primary focus is going to be on setting up our backline. So I'm trying to find a way onto any big threat of the opposing team, and as I see their Kiriko and their Emre kind of in this middle area, I'm just going to be looking at them and forcing out that big damage from the team and trying to give my team an opportunity to walk forward. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take too much space, and as our Emre walks up a little bit, I might be able to find this kill. You're going to be a little bit too fast for us, but I'm going to actually look to greed this a bit and then drop down to this mega area. Now that I have my armor and their team is going to be falling over time, we're going to be a pretty good spot. Tracer and Ball are still going to be on the point, so I want to be focusing this Ball a bit, especially as I see their Tracer use recall. But with the Wrecking Ball still lurking, my main goal is to zone their back line to make it easier for our team to kill the point. So we get a good bubble onto their back line, forces their Kiriko to TP in, and we are able to find a kill on the Emre after that, and we will be winning that point. I have my Primal Rage. Now, Primal is the most diverse ultimate in the game, and you can be using it in a ton of different ways. There's not one size fits all solution for how you want to be using Primal, but how I think I want to be using it here is probably aggressively. They have a lot of ultimates coming up pretty soon here. I believe they have the Kitsune Rush, they have their Emre, and my backline does not have much mobility. So as soon as they start walking here, I'm going to hit aggressively and stay in with my Primal Rage. And I see them walking up. We're going to be popping our Nano Boost, so I'm actually going to be chilling. I'm going to be continuing in and not popping my Primal, staying rather calm, but as I get fairly low, I will be going down. I think as long as our Ana lives, we're going to be okay, but they do get caught on the wall, unfortunately. Emre all being used by both of our team, but our Emre is better than theirs, and we will be clutching up that fight. I think I could have popped Primal to live. I was very greedy with it, which isn't always a bad thing, because keeping your Primal for opportunities in the future can be an insanely strong habit on Winston. but it also can be very, very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. But as their team walks forward, I'm probably just going to be popping my Primal here to kill this Emery, and then later look for their supports as their Lucio goes down. I know the Wrecking Ball is probably just lower, so I'm just going to be trying to keep them off the point the best that I can. We only got the kill on the Emery, but I think they'll be okay, especially since most of their team is not here. Kitsune Rush on the point is going to be a little bit dangerous for us, but Suzu gets used, which will enable my Tracer to find that kill later. Wrecking Ball wants to be disrupting us as much as possible. We see their Lucio walking on this right side, and I think that I just want to boop it, try to make it easier for our team to live. Saving my bubble for their Emery swing. As I see their Emery on this right side, that's going to be my opportunity to step, use my bubble, make sure that it's hard to give any care to that Emery. I see that Tracer gets left on the left side, so that's my entire focus to get that kill. But a massive chain coming out from our Mizuki, and I don't want to be giving up the point here, so I'm just going to be looking to step forward. Wrecking Ball gets fairly low. Big Mizuki ult to keep our backline alive. I'm not going to be able to do too much about that, but I can look to force out the enemy team. As they have two shooters looking at me though, I'm just going to be backing up immediately, as this is going to be a bit too much damage for my bubble to handle. As the Emery walks forward, I don't have the HP to fight that. So I just want to back up. As far as 1 HP, I'm going to look to step on that, see if I can get that kill, and we are successful in doing so. Wrecking Ball is close. We just want to be sitting on the point now and just killing anyone who dares to step into our general vicinity so they can feel our aura, and then we will be winning that point. I think that went fairly well. Oh, no. Okay. So, with Winston's major perks, the correct answer in most of the scenarios nowadays is going to be Healing Bubble, but previously, and it probably will be the case in the future as well, as less damage, or as damage gets taken out of the game in future patches, Chain Lightning is very, 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 very strong. With the Initiator perk in the last patch being able to be procced on Winston every time they kind of jumped off anything, Chain Lightning would be super strong because you wouldn't need the healing to sustain yourself. That Healing Bubble gave you nearly as much, but unfortunately with our team being super sort of backline focused and their team wanting to play super spread out with the Wrecking Ball and Kiriko and having a lot of mobility, we don't want to be picking Chain Lightning because it's very hard to get value out of it. Our Mizuki looks for a step. We don't necessarily need to do all that much right now, but as our Sombra gets fairly low, I'm going to be popping my bubble just to make sure that they stay alive. So our Tracer gets forced. We're going to be going down. I think that we can be okay. Even with our Tracer, we're just always on the back foot. We're not doing much. Okay, I'm going to be looking to force things out a little bit more intentionally or aggressively. If our backline wants to be chill, that's super fine. It just means that we have to adapt in a way that will put the enemy in some uncomfortable positions, so that they're not able to just kind of like shoot anyone that they want. I see their Kiriko TP and Suzu in, but their Lucio's main is not going to be getting nearly as easy care. As their backline is main, our Ana finds an amazing kill into the Tracer. I'm looking for my hit onto their backline, especially since their Emery doesn't have gun, but they have both their supports and their hit scan here. So I don't want to be committing too hard onto that and just turning around for the Wrecking Ball a bit later. As I see their Emery stepping more, I'm just going to look for a quick little hit on it. I have my Healing Bubble soon, but as they don't have enough damage to take me down there, we're going to be looking pretty good to just save it. A huge boot from the Wrecking Ball. I definitely could have thought about the Wrecking Ball looking for the boot play onto me and then playing safer. I just kind of got a little bit kill hungry for the Kiriko. A big mistake, because now we're not going to be able to pressure up early, and they're going to be able to walk onto the point and follow up with their minefield very, very easily. So I definitely trolled this fight by getting a little bit too aggressive. If our Tracer gets one tap, I'm going to be getting the second one. With the minefield on the point though, my bubble's going to be going down instantly. A massive, massive, massive Mizuki ult and chain, which will be allowing us to sustain that rush. Unfortunate pulse bomb is going to be landing onto our Emery, but with our healing bubble on the point, I'm very close to primal. I'm going to be trying to play for it, standing inside my healing bubble, not only just for the healing, but also to build that extra bit of ult charge. I see their backline out. Even if I see 9 here, I think it'll be okay because I will be zoning their entire team and getting my ultimate off and potentially getting a kill. but we will not be C9ing. Our team is going to do an amazing job of standing on the point, and we will be holding. Now, I know that the Wrecking Ball can't boot me in this time, so I can be looking to push up a bit. I think they have their Emre ult, and their beat, so I'm going to be forcing one of them early with an aggressive hit using my primal to stay alive. I see the Lucio on this left side, and that's actually my ideal target because beat is going to be a scary ult for us. But we're just going to be able to take down their Lucio as they are. Emre falls very, very low, so we're just going to be able to focus them down with our backline going low. Though I think I'm going to pop primal. Yeah. Finding the kill onto the Kiriko, and the Wrecking Ball is inside of our space still, so we just want to turn around, try to take them down. Lucio is left on the point. I don't really want to jump at them yet, because if I get booped, it'd be really, really bad in case their ball was going to follow up, even though I probably could have maybe gotten the kill on the Lucio. If I looked for a jump onto them, it would have, since we were in a sort of advantaged state, I didn't want to give that up. And instead I took the safe option of just sort of chilling and shooting them with my right click. As they pop their beat though, that's going to be the scary ult that we were talking about a bit earlier, which they're going to be able to use to flip the point back in their favor, which is very, very okay. My main thought right now is I want to take the game into my hands the best that I can. So I'm going to be trying to build my primal. Primal Rage is an insanely strong ultimate that I can be using to actually probably win one fight if I get a good juggle off onto the backline, or if I force a huge ult disadvantage for the enemy team. But as I don't really see much of where they are, I'm just going to be looking to step on this backline here. I know their ball wants to peel me, so I just want to chill a little bit. And there they are. Emre gets very low. I don't want to chase it though. I don't have my healing bubble, and their ball is ready to peel me. Kiriko Rush gets used. Wrecking Ball is very close. I can be looking to step. Tracer right side. That's very important for us to know, because now that means that we can be stepping really, really aggressively onto the enemy backline, and they're not going to have nearly as much damage with their Tracer out of the fight. A massive nano coming out from our Ana. I'm using my bubble to split off their Emre, but unfortunately as I had to reload, I'm not going to be able to find the kill off of... No! Oh, I wanted to get inside the room. If we get one touch, we're going to be able to come back with our primal, but unfortunately that boop from the Wrecking Ball is just going to be a little bit too much for us to handle. And we'll be going down very close to our Primal Rage. I had a misplay there. I didn't recognize fast enough that I needed to get aggressive to build my primal. Definitely earlier, or like before that big fight started, identifying that I needed to build primal as fast as I could, or as fast as I could, was the right call. But I did not play nearly as aggressively as I needed to actually get it in time. But that is a-okay. It's going to be kind of hard to recognize that in some of those more intense moments. But we still have one round that we can definitely win, and I think it's going to be a much better sub point for our composition, though that doesn't usually mean all that much in ranked from my experience. Your team will play their game in whatever kind of way they want. My support player asked me if I wanted Ana or Kiriko. As Winston, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't care that much, especially into a comp like theirs. You don't actually require that much healing as Winston often. So I prefer anytime that I'm on a hero that can be sort of sustaining themselves a bit, to just encourage my team to play whatever they do best. But I had a very big misplay there of trying to step onto the high ground, but not denying the enemy team's play whatsoever. So the enemy members were able to just sort of sidestep me and get onto my backline, which is going to be a little bit too much for them to handle, as I was not forcing out any direct threat. There was too many people for my backline to deal with, and we'd just be going down. But as the Wrecking Ball goes in and uses their turn, I could maybe be looking for a step here. I see their Emre on high ground. I think that's going to be my play. I want to be making sure that I try to make their Lucio's boop as hard as possible to get off onto me. but as I hear their Emery pistol get used, I can maybe be looking to step here a little bit. Little tip about Winston is jumping really high and vertically is going to be a very good thing whenever you want to be looking for a soft engage, because the jump cooldown starts when you press it and not when you land. So you can jump up in the air, take a lot of attention from the enemy team, and by the time you land, there's already like 3 seconds off of your cooldown. But we will be losing that fight as well. We're going to be in a really, really difficult spot here, and I'm going to be getting insanely aggressive instantly with Primal because they have a huge ultimate advantage on us. I want to be getting their Lucio to beat as fast as I can. I hear the Lucio left side, I think. With the Wrecking Ball going in, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get a hit off in time before they pop an ultimate, but Mizuki Chain onto the Wrecking Ball. If we can force that guy out a bit, that would be amazing. Good grapple readjustment, that was techie. And their Emery is high ground, and Kiriko has no TP. I can maybe be winning this. Kiriko goes down. I know their Emery wants to be getting out. No, let me in! Let me in! Let me in! Last fight is right now. Emery uses their pistol. I think Winston's actually one of the better tanks against Emery because your bubble will be denying all of their healing that they could get. Kitsune Rush and Emery ult are used. I'm not able to do too much, so I'm just going to be taking a side angle to potentially peel away some attention. Only one of us goes down to that ult combination, which is honestly really, really good. Emery and Kiriko are up top. I want to be denying this Kiriko from getting the beat by body blocking them. But unfortunately, I don't think I'll get my bubble in time, and we will be looking rather rough for this first game. Definitely sucks. I could have won that that second point for sure if I was able to build my primal in time, but it's going to be a little bit shy of the value that we really needed. But sometimes these games will happen, especially Winston in these higher ranked lobbies where everybody knows to exploit the mobility weakness. Winston's going to be a little bit of a rougher hero right now, but they are the birthday boy today, in which I'm going to be forcing them anyways. And I don't want to be discouraging anyone from playing any hero that they want to play, because every single hero in the game is viable to play up to champion, to get any rank that you want to, really. So pick what's fun to you and do your best at them. I've forced the worst heroes in the game up to very high ranks. Well, the worst heroes in any given meta up to very, very high ranks. So don't get discouraged from just playing who you want to play, even if ranked teammates are going to tell you to like swap or kind of like, or say that like you're throwing or whatnot. Just do what feels fun and good to you. But with that out of the way, we have Esperanza. I'm not going to talk I'm not going to talk about bans for today's episode. So let's see how this game goes. Cut. And then the EV editor cuts right there, and it's awesome. I wanted this to cut because I thank you so much for the sub. Musty, a guy we can't rusty. Thank you so much. As well as thank you for the follow. Higo, hi. Hi. And the bit. I earned it. Thank you. Hammond if Winston's banned. Yeah, I can play some Wrecking Ball. I kind of like, those are my two guys right now, at least. My three favorite tanks to play are Reinhardt, Winston, and Wrecking Ball. Also, I saw in the chat earlier, I don't know if you're still here. Hi, Soytab! I'm a big fan. I hope you're doing well, bro. Hi, yo, thank you so much for the sub, Party Key! I appreciate it. That's awesome. Welcome back. Me watching this series every day is a quick play warrior with no interest in playing rank. That's awesome. That's super fine. I hope that my videos are a resource for any kind of Overwatch gameplay. Alright, but a sip of water. And let's lock into our next game here. Going to be Esperanza with our heroes of Ashe, Sojourn, Ana, and Mizuki. Going to be playing a very similar role to how we wanted to play last game. Kind of forcing out a lot of threats that might be wanting to pressure out our back line, while looking for our plays later as soon as we have our backline into strong positions, and when they're not threatened, we want to just be looking for a lot of damage or hits onto the enemy team. My alarm's going off, which is not ideal, but now that I turned it off, I can actually look and think about the game. I think I heard a yep. So they're gonna have Roadhog, Sojourn, Lifeweaver. Lifeweaver is a fairly scary hero for us as Winston, but with Roadhog, I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about the Winston versus Roadhog matchup right now. You look at where the Roadhog is, and then you go where they aren't. So we are able to find that Moira, but as soon as they pop their healing orb, it's not going to be worth our time, really, to try to, like, find that kill or secure it, because it's going to take forever. And there's better hits for us to go on. So, as I see their Sojourn main, that's going to be one of the heroes that I really want to be pressuring a lot. Unfortunately, our bubble will be going down, and our teammates will be falling shortly. Can I live? I can maybe find the kill onto this Lifeweaver, as I sort of mentioned at the start. Lifeweaver can be a fairly scary hero for a few reasons for Winston, but primarily anyone that we want to hit is now unhittable sometimes if they have pull, or if we want to dive the Lifeweaver directly, they're going to they're just going to be able to live a very long time. Because their healing, or their dash heals them, as well as their pedal is very, very hard to follow, and it sometimes will just make or force us to use our jump, like how we had to in that last fight. And you can see it punished us later, but as a-okay. So we see the Roadhog is on main, so we jump somewhere else, and then they get pulled away from where we want to go. This comp is honestly rather hard for Winston. So how can I win here? I think it's primarily going to be finding good hits onto the Lifeweaver or tracking their pull cooldown. So anytime that their pull cooldown's out, I'm actually able to kill their Sojourn. That was not one of the times that their pull cooldown is out, but now that it's forced, I can be looking to step up yet again. And now onto this Lifeweaver maybe. And Moira's chasing us down, but I think that we're going to be okay. This is going to be... Oh my gosh. I just thought about it. My wife. When Chain Lightning becomes available to us, we're going to be actually, I think, in a pretty damn good spot. As their team starts to step towards me a little bit, that's actually going to be some of the best value that we can get on Winston, is just making space by forcing the enemy team to back for us. But we're not actually going to be that huge of a threat to a lot of people. So a lot of the time that's going to be a hard task to accomplish. I hear their overclock being used. Which I could have primaled, but I decided that I wanted to just sort of chill instead. And now I'm going to be lurking in their walls. Biggest issue that we're running into is not being able to find any kills, and I can't really do too much on the front line, but actually, with the idea of our Ana, I'm thinking about ways I could potentially win this. And sometimes there's not, like, games like this are ones that you can't really flowchart well, because their comp is super, super unique. They have a lot of things that disrupt our traditional ways of getting value on Winston. So now it's time to think outside of the box. An idea that I'm going to try, I'm going to be staring at my Ana to see any time that they're looking for a nade. I'm playing completely and solely off bar nades for a little bit here to see if I'm able to maybe potentially kill their Roadhog. The big issue to this is if we get a nade onto the Roadhog or the Venture or something, and then they get pulled by Lifeweaver, but that will be putting me in a fairly decent spot, because if our Ana is able to nade something, generally they can see it. Unfortunately, nade gets used a little bit early, so that we not going to be able to follow up on it, but that is very okay. Here my Ana on the left, Roadhog and Moira are close. Sojourn's high ground, and I think outside of the Lifeweaver's pull range, so I can be looking to step on that, and we will be getting that kill. I see their Lifeweaver back main. I do have my Primal Rage in case things go wrong. But looks like things are going to be going right in every single way, and we will be winning that point. Moira's the last hero alive. I want to be jumping on them just to make sure that we don't trade any of our supports. And we are going to be in a very good position here. I have my Primal, and I'm thinking about how I want to use it. I think I'm just going to hold on to it for a while. There's not really... I can't really kill anyone with it, so... Like how we saw a little bit earlier with us jumping on the Sojourn and then them getting pulled away and then having slide later to further run away. Primal is going to allow us to sort of chase down people a lot better. So here we saw the same exact situation of you. Wow. Okay. We forced out tree, which is fine. It's just frustrating because I want the kill. But like we saw there, we were actually able to force out the tree to help or make their life weaver keep their Sojourn alive. But we do have good space onto the cart. I'm hoping that maybe this hog gets naded soon. Our Kitsune Rush comes out, which is actually kind of amazing. As Lifeweaver pedal goes up, I'm going to just be putting in bubble main. Sojourn's on that high ground. I'm going to be jumping them, see if I can force them to slide into our team, and we will be successful in doing so. Whole hog gets used, and that is the ultimate that will one-shot us. Roadhog's very, very low though, so despite Whole hog being up, I'm going to be stepping forward to see if I'm able to pressure them out and maybe get that kill. But as they take the cart, we're going to be in a lot rougher spot. But I think they're Sojourn. Alright, another Lifeweaver and Warrior pull up. That's okay, I'm very fine here. I just got to the high ground. My Reaper's able to get an amazing kill. I'm scared of them getting the cart further. I don't think I'll be able to kill those supports, so I'm just going to turn around instead and use my mobility to stop the cart from pushing any further. An amazing nade from my Ana is going to be able to take out their hog, and I think their adjustment of playing a little bit more frontline base is actually going to be working. That is something that I didn't consider initially, is that their supports, while they are very, very, very survivable, they're going to not have any sort of damage that they can put into the front line. Moira is the tickle monster, and Lifeweaver, it can be scary in 1v1s, but generally for us as a tank, they're not going to be insanely threatening. So we see the pull and the coalescence get used in response to our nano step. We hear the overclock being used, but as we have the lead, I'm not going to get too aggressive off of it, in which we are just going to be kind of chilling. I hear the echo behind. I don't want to trade my team, but unfortunately I'm going to miss my right click. Definitely sucks. I mean, those are little things that all add up. But as we have our primal online, I know they have their tree, so I'm not going to be able to get a kill off of it. But I can potentially force out an ultimate, especially if their Sojourn goes for something like that. But since the Roadhog is looking at me, I think I'm going to pop it here to make sure I don't die. Tree gets used, but not in the right spot for their Lifeweaver to live. Come here! No! Okay. Sorry, I know I'm usually a calmer YouTuber, but I just felt a lot there. I really like Winston. I have a lot of fun playing this hero. But that is going to be putting us in a really, really good position. We were able to get the kill onto the Lifeweaver, and them using all of their cooldowns is going to allow our team to continue pushing the payload as far as they need. And the 2-minute mark has passed, so the game has just officially started. In my eyes, we're able to force out Whole hog, and we're able to force out Whole hog and that. What's it called? Dupe. That's the one. Which is going to be putting us in a really good spot. I'm not too fond of our rush there, because now if we were to lose that fight, which we did, they're going to be having a better chance of actually capping the objective, though I think that we're still going to be in a pretty good spot. They swap Zenyatta. Very, very, very important thing to note. They now have a lot of damage, in which how we were playing initially at the start of the game, of trying to get onto the backline every time we have the opportunity to do so, is going to be much more valuable than sort of sitting main. Since if we sit main and not pressure the backline as much as we were sort of later, we're going to be a little bit more... we're going to have a lot more damage coming onto us. So I'm just going to sit here for a bit and wait for my opportunities to get onto the back line. So we see this echo on that high ground. I'm not going to be able to do too much. Overclock used on this right side. If they slide out, I'm going to maybe chase. But I'm scared of where their Zenyatta is. As I see my Reaper looking to TP around somewhere, I'm just going to be looking to step. And we're going to be in a decent spot here. Lifeweaver on top of this pedal, in which I think we're going to be fine. I noticed that their Zen was a little bit too far back to Discord me. If their Zen was further up, in which they're able to get Discord and consistent damage, I would have not gone for that jump. But as Discord comes out onto us, their Echo is in range to follow up. We're just going to be backing up, and I want to continue poking as much as I can. Able to boop the Lifeweaver off the pedal is going to be a massive, massive thing for us, but Zenyatta is the main threat. I don't care if they get a little bit of extra card progress right now. This Zenyatta needs to go down. But 10% to our primal. We have a lot of time on the cart. I'm not doing anything risky. So I'm waiting until I see their Roadhog either use hook on somebody else, or get slept, or antied, or something before I do anything, in which they will get slept. We're going to be able to take them down, and we will be winning this game. I think that was a really, really awesome game. I was able to talk about a lot of different aspects, and that's a really important idea that's applicable for every single hero that you might want to be playing in this game. While you're going to have a lot of common scenarios that it's important to know how to navigate through, there are going to be times in which you're going to play against more niche you're going to play against sort of like niche matchups or compositions and whatnot that you still need to navigate through to win your game. So the most important skill that you can develop to improve at Overwatch is identifying exactly what's going on and where your sources of value might be. While traditionally diving back lines is pretty good as Winston, and you don't want to be anywhere near the hog, like I said at the start, that was one of the exception points because their backline was able to live forever, and our Ana potentially would have been able to force out their Roadhog a lot more if we peeled some attention. We actually didn't get that too many dives onto the hog, but it was... Oh, we're going to Oasis again, alright. Those still... Generally, we were playing a lot more sort of front to back and closer to our core rather than lurking in their walls constantly. But going to Oasis, let me just look at the 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, sick. I have conflicting feelings about if I want to be including bans in the ranked lessons or not, as I'm forcing specific heroes per video, because there was a comment on the last video for Junker Queen, which I very, very strongly agree with, of actually learning how to play a hero into bad matchups is extremely valuable for improvement. So while I can say what good bans are to allow you or enable you to win games, I don't always think that banning out your counters of a hero is good for improvement. So I'm conflicted on if we should be doing bans or not, or if I should at least just say what good bans would be for each hero. But let me know down in the comments of the video on how you guys feel about that. If you want me to do bans for specific heroes, if you don't want me to do bans, just let me know. I'm curious what y'all's takes are. But anyways, locking into our next game here, we are going to be on Oasis again with rinse and repeat. We have an Ana and our Sojourn here. And a Lifeweaver. I'm curious what their comp is going to be, but primarily with the same sort of... Anytime that we're leaning a little bit more into damage rather than our mobility for our team composition, we want to be trying to mark out threats fairly frequently instead of getting super, super active. Orisa... Oh, this is a fun matchup. Okay. With Orisa Zenyatta, they're going to have a lot of backline or sort of damage pressure that will be coming onto us over the course of the game, and it's going to be very difficult for us to sort of sustain whatsoever inside of their team's space. So how we want to be thinking about this is using our bubble, which is our primary ability that we're going to be needing to play into their team comp, to split off healing. Their Ana and Reaper are going to be the primary heroes that we want to keep very, very big track of. Ana, Reaper, and Zenyatta, because if our bubble is able to split off the Ana from anyone who we potentially want to kill, we're going to be in a really, really good spot. Orisa is a difficult hero into Winston, and they swap. But Orisa is rather hard into Winston because they don't really have too much counter play to the things that Winston wants to be doing. In terms of their mobility or their bubble, it takes a surprisingly long time for Orisa to be able to break bubble. But with them swapping to Doomfist, it's going to be a little bit harder for us, as we're going to be forced to play a little bit more stacked with our team. An amazing tree coming out from our Lifeweaver and a huge nade from our Ana. It's going to be allowing us to live on the point quite a bit longer. But I'm really, really scared primarily of that Doomfist being able to peel us. Because if their Doomfist gets a good punch onto us as we hit their backline, we just kind of blow up really fast. But as their Brig is looking at us, I'm just going to be backing up. Their Doomfist wants to chase, which is very, very okay. Brigitte is under as well. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna try an idea. I'm not gonna worry about the Doomfist nearly as much, and I'm just gonna worry about the Reaper. And if their Reaper is not able to follow up on a hit on their backline, I'm gonna be looking for it. It's not an idea that I'm super, super confident in, but it feels like I don't have a lot of good options, so I want to be trying to make something happen. And Reaper is going to be one of the heroes that's going to be doing the most amount of damage to me. So I just heard Reaper TP somewhere, so I'm just going to be looking to step onto their backline, and we will be in a pretty good position. We are able to live after our hit, which is amazing to see. A huge kill from our Emre, and as the Brigitte is close, I'm just going to be backing up a little bit, but as Nano Boost comes out, I'm going to be stepping back up again onto their backline. Scared of Sleep Dart, so I'm focusing all of my attention onto our strafe pattern. And every time you are trying to kill a Brianna backline or with your primal, you want to be focusing on the Brigitte. When you're in primal near a Brianna, their Brigitte is going to always proc inspire. If they miss inspire or proc inspire, there's something going wrong. As well as for any of your juggle targets, they're going to be able to pack, which is going to basically negate most of the damage that you do with your primal rage. So focusing on the Brigitte to prevent that and giving the chance for the Ana to miss shots, because it's just much, much harder, is going to be very effective in a lot of scenarios. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find good kills there, but as their team starts to look at us a bit more, I'm just going to be grabbing some health packs as our supports are rather busy. And I'll be playing around this right side to make sure that I get touched. I hear one person very low ground wanting to mark me out. I'm scared of that Brigitte on high ground booping me off the map, so I think I'm just going to play through this low ground. It's also very scary if they knew that I was coming, but I am going to be able to get the touch at least, and a massive grip from my Life Weaver is going to allow us to win. No, is going to allow us to continue this fight. Our Sombra touching the point, getting a lot of damage onto their Emre. Emre falling 1 HP, a hack onto the Doomfist, finding the kill. Our Cassidy is alive on the point and pocketed. Ana walking up, looking for an aggressive nade, but I think we're okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My Cass is the best player ever. We will be winning that fight. I think that, whenever we're on tank especially, or any mobility-based hero, we want to be thinking about our touch to trigger overtime in a lot of these fights. Because if we are not able to trigger overtime, then it's impossible for any of our teammates to get any other plays. I see their Doomfist split from the rest of their team, so I'm going to be looking to see if I can take them down. Brigitte bashes in, which is going to be allowing me to step onto their Emre very easily, but everyone on their team wants to be killing me here. It's going to be rather scary. I think I'm going to be picking Chain Lightning for this matchup. I'll talk about it in a second. Don't sleep me, don't sleep me, don't sleep me, don't sleep me. No, she's won. 99. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get the kill on that Brigitte through our primal, and we'll be losing that first round. Very, very difficult round to start. Though I think that is going to be one of the harder maps for us. It's just very difficult with our team composition and the enemy team having such high sustain. It's hard for us to get value out of our hits, but the beauty about Winston is that as soon as you're able to get in and have a very, very high uptime, you're going to be slowly bleeding out resources across the entire team, and you're going to be very, very, very difficult to kill once you have a good sense of the threat around you that can stop you from making the plays that you want, as well as your own CDs and your pathing. You'll notice if you watch a lot of pro Winston POVs that the absolute best ones will do a few things differently. They'll have different primals, they'll have different like jump usages and bubble usages, but the one most consistent thing to being really, really good at Winston is your pathing. If you have good pathing and you're stopping, or if you're making it so that you don't take too much damage as you walk towards where you need to be, you're going to be in very good positions very frequently. I saw their team using a lot of CDs, and I wanted to see if I could potentially find a kill off of that, and we were going to be getting close, but due to their Ana nading themselves and giving them the boosted healing and the Kiriko being in range, I'm not going to be able to get that kill. Unfortunately, I saw the Ana looking for the nade. I wanted to block it with bubble, but I'm not going to be... Damn! I'm not going to be able to block it in time. I'll get naded punch and then blown up a little bit later. Just frames too late to that play or that idea. I was going to send us back to spawn, though if we were able to block the nade, we would have for sure gotten the kill onto that Kiriko. Something that I'm noticing though, while that last fight wasn't a good example of it, I am living a lot. Our supports are putting quite a bit of resources into me, so I'm going to try playing even more aggressively, even if the Reaper is like a little bit in range. Early jump onto the Reaper is going to force out their fade. I'm close to my primal and they're close to a lot of ults as well. Doomfist looking for a step, going to force out our bubble early, but that will be allowing our team to walk up. I hear somebody top left, I think that's where I'm going to go. Ana misses her sleep and drops onto low ground. Reaper TP's high ground, but because I didn't commit nearly as much as they thought, we're going to be in a pretty good spot to just sort of walk away from them. Doomfist peeling back, so I'm just going to put my bubble on the point, forcing the enemy team to play into an uncomfortable position on point. And now I'm able to put the put their Ana into traffic, and then slowly clean the rest of their team. Reaper is the last one trying to touch the point, in which they're going to find a kill onto our Cassidy, which is going to make our defense quite a bit harder here, but we're still going to maintain control over this game. A lot of ultimates on the board for us, but I think as well as some big ultimates for the enemy team as well. Gonna be something to consider. I think primarily we are picking for nano, so if I get nano here, I can kill all of them. Looking for a Nano Reaper is very okay. Unfortunately, we will be going down before the cast fully completes. Ana looking to step onto us, so I'm just putting my bubble down to give myself a little bit of an extra buffer. That's one of the few instances in which like being in voice chat could be very beneficial. Because coordinating with your teammates in ranked it's an idea that I haven't explored too much recently. I used to be a massive commer in ranked, but for the past like probably 3-ish years in ranked, I've just been out of VC basically always. I usually like anytime I'm like solo queuing and focusing on my own grinding, I'm out of VC. I have streamer mode on, so I can't see other people's names. You can still see mine. And I'm just only focusing on my own gameplay. But as their backline walks out for a while, their Doomfist is left inside of our team. So now that I have my primal though, I see their Ana walking up left side. Emery's main, we trigger overtime, and I think I saw their Kiriko use TP, so we could maybe find that kill. Overtime is proc, so I don't have to worry about getting touched for at least a few seconds here. And we're going to find the kills onto their backline with our Primal Rage. What, Reaper's close right. In which we can follow up. I want to shoot this Curie a lot here on their walk up, but as they get some good damage into us, we're going to be in a pretty difficult situation. Last fight on the board here. We have a lot of balls coming up, so I'm going to be bubbling early and aggressively to see if I can force out resources and buy some time for my team to build out ultimates. So we just took away quite a bit of time from their team, but as our Reaper's very low, huge nano boost, and we will be winning that round because we're able to zone out the back line as their team crashed onto ours. So C9 from the enemy team, but we were able to influence it by being a threat on the field and making it so that it was uncomfortable for their Emre to walk up towards the point. Very, very happy about that. And I think that this last point is going to be very interesting. I think that this could go either way. I'm wondering how I want to start and what's been working. My aggressive plays have been working quite well, as they're not able to put too much damage onto me. The Reaper started to adapt a little bit later into the game to start to look at me a little bit more, so potentially I could be staring at their Doomfist a bit if they're still getting very active. But I also just straight up wasn't dying, even with the Reaper looking at me much. So maybe I still can just go for some aggressive plays. So with that in mind, I'm going to be taking this left side. We peel their Doomfist to walk into our space, which will enable my team to walk anywhere that they want. I hear our Reaper going in, and with their entire team on that back area, we're going to be pretty chill. Since it was only their Doomfist in, they're not able to have that much uptime. As their Doomfist goes in again, I'm just putting a quick bubble onto their back line to make it hard to follow up with their Doomfist hit. But as our team kind of goes down, I'm looking for another play onto their back line, but unfortunately I will be going down myself. I think the idea that I had in first point of just seeing where the Reaper is and playing or basing my hits off of that is going to be the primary way that we win this game. Since if the Reaper is on our backline, I think we're gonna be able to stay on theirs like kind of forever. Whip shots out. I can potentially be living here. A lot of damage out of nowhere. What the hell? They've never been able to do that much damage to me in a moment. Maybe I took too much damage, or I got my armor chunked on my walk up. That's an idea. But that's going to be setting us back quite a bit. I think their entire team is looking to shoot me more. Alright, maybe their Ana just cracked with the headshot perk. So I'm going to try to just play a little bit more front to back with my bubbles. I hear somebody on the left side. I'm just going to swing this corner with my bubble. Make it very easy for my team to walk up and carry me while still clearing a little bit of space, not taking nearly as deep jumps as I was before. Reaper uses their Fade. I'm close to my Primal Rage. Brigitte, Doomfist, and Emre all looking at me in that left room. I figured that we could walk up a little bit more. Really sucks that I got body blocked there, because I will be putting us into the spawn room. Very, very rough game, but amazing kill from Arcasi, who was going to give us a chance to turn this around. They still have their Emre all coming back, as well as I believe their nano boost, if I recall correctly. Yes. No sleep on the Ana is going to take us into their backline immediately. Brigitte, the last support on the point, rally being used. I'm going to continue chasing this, and I have my own primal to match if things start to go rough. Our Ana goes down, but their Brigitte is still very, very, very low. I need to get touch on the point and then stall for a while, so I get that. I know that Doomfist wants to punch me. I dodge that. I turn around. I can touch one more time, and then I will be going down. Very, very difficult. Their team adapted super, super well, and I think that it took me a lot, or way too long, to realize that I needed to just sort of play a little bit closer to my core and clear space off of, like, just walking up a bit more of like a brawl focusing. With Winston, that hero, or the hero, is able to do a lot of different jobs in a lot of different ways. Because they have very good brawl, they have very good mobility, they are generally like a hyper generalist hero who's able to do a lot. So the main aspect about Winston that you need to be really good at is your understanding where your value actually comes from. Heroes that are hyper generalists, like Winston, Symmetra, Lucio sort of deal, are going to be a very base in game knowledge. So studying is very, very, very good thing to do. Watching pro POVs and how they handle different situations is going to be insanely valuable for those sorts of heroes. But that's why you'll see, or why I mentioned earlier on that map, of the most important aspect of Winston that you'll see consistently, because different people come to different conclusions on how they want to be playing the hero with their jumps and their primals and their bubbles. the most important thing across every single matchup that you'll play in is your pathing. Because if you're getting chunked early as you walk anywhere that you want to go, you're not going to be able to have the effective HP or the brawl potential to actually win your games. I'm not going to be doing bans here. I'm going to be taking a quick little break to talk to the stream chat. So I will see y'all when we lock into the next game. Bang. And then YouTube video editor cuts like right there. It's awesome. When you hang up the mouse and pick up the mic. I've done a lot of casting in the past. It's really fun. I don't get too many opportunities to cast, but I always really enjoy it whenever I do. Honestly, in a way you could use the bans is when you want to play highly banned heroes like D.Va, you could ban 2 other strong tanks. Since only hero per role can be banned, it reduces. Yeah, I was thinking about that. It'll probably only be a damn, that if you got that account high. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that for D.Va, because when I tried to do D.Va, that was like the first hero that I wanted to do for the individual hero focused videos. I just couldn't play D.Va. I just couldn't play D.Va. Also, hi Toro.
A better world is possible today.
Okay, but locking into our next game here, we are going to be on Runasapi with the bans of Tracer, D.Va, Lucio, and Cat. I think fairly significant bans for us to keep in mind. In our team comp, starting out on Ana, Mercy, Genji, and Cassidy. Our Cassidy and our Ana are going to be the main focal points of our composition here. And I do know our Ana, and I know what kind of plays they like to go for. I expect my Ana to be getting fairly creative, though I'm not a hot take that I have. I know it's controversial. Anytime that I'm playing in like a group, or if I know people on my team, I kind of like push all notions of how they want to play the game out of my head, and I just try to play my own style and react to whatever is happening rather than putting any preconceived notions in my head about what my teammates do. But with their initial step, we're going to be going down here, a few members, and a massive sleep onto the Reaper. We can definitely chase this, especially since our bubble was able to cut off all of the healing as they kited. As I get my next bubble, I'm going to be stepping onto their backline, pressuring their Juno, forcing their Zarya to turn around later at least. Yep, there that is. So their entire team wants to be back in here. I can be looking for one soft hit and then running away very shortly here. Since they don't have either of their DPS around, that's what enabled me to go for those soft hits, and maximizing your value like that a little bit on Winston is going to be one of the most important things for you to do, because every time that you're able to get a hit and force out potential CDs or build your primal, that kind of value is what will enable you to have the sort of like clutch factor, the carry potential later in the game. So you want to be looking for opportunities to get active whenever you can. There are going to be some times where you just never can get active, and that's okay, but you want to always keep like an eye out for when you can. Don't know if I'm able to get a kill onto that Zarya, but I'm going to be looking at their Kiriko, trying to force out anything that I can, but a high charge Zarya who's pocketed on the point is just going to be a little bit too difficult for us to handle, which is a-okay. Small gripe here, I usually try to stay positive. I really like Overwatch, so I don't have too much negative to say about it. I'm not going to lie, I haven't really been enjoying push that much, because I always say it in every video, but it really is just kind of like the last, it is just kind of the last 2 minutes that matter. Like, they get the lead here, which definitely, oh, okay. Definitely sucks. But like, especially with, when you're playing a hero with a strong ultimate like Primal, like, if you use your ult right towards the end, you just win so many games. It doesn't matter what happened before. That's not my favorite sort of aspect about Overwatch, but I still really enjoy playing the game, as well as for this series especially. I do like push because it gives me a lot of time to talk about very different things as we build up our ults. If our Ana gets low, I don't want to be on the cart, but somebody needs to do it. As the blizzard comes out, I'm gonna just kind of see what's going on over here. I'm just gonna like scope it out a bit. Their team is completely split, so I'm going to be looking to step here a little bit and trying to back the best that I can. Fortunately, I am able to get out in time. With amazing kill onto the Reaper as well, we're going to be able to get very aggressive a lot here. Using my Initiator perk to heal up my armor, and as their Zarya backs up, we can be looking to step further pretty soon. Cassidy on that left side, if they get split from their team, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for it, because that will be one of the targets who we really want to just punish if they ever get split. But I'm going to be sitting in this corner, forcing their Zarya to swing into my cast range. But as they use their Juno range, or Juno Ray, we're just going to be reacting with our Brush, or our Ray, and a Balk, that's the one. And hopefully we stabilize for a while, but I think that we might end up losing this point. I'm going to see if I can live, because if I'm able to get any extra poke in to farm my Primal Rage, that would be awesome. But as our Cassie walks up, it's one of the heroes I don't really want to be poking all that much. I can use my bubble here to get some damage though. I won't need my bubble for a while, and as the Reaper starts to step forward, I'm going to just back up since I don't want to be fighting that. Even though I'm getting Ana healing, it's just better to make sure that I'm safe. Reaper's very close. Unfortunately, I guess I just take my Cass's nano boost. Reaper kills our backline, and their backline forces me out. Sucks. I'm gonna try to live. I don't know if I can here, but that is a-okay. I'm staging on this high ground. I wanted to sort of see where their Reaper is. Believe it or not, I found him. And then I want to see if I can just kind of pressure out their backline as much as possible. Since the Reaper is over there, I'm just going to be jumping and just chilling. I just wanted to jump and see how they were going to react to me, because they had a lot of options in which or a lot of ways in which they could react to me. I didn't want to like full commit, because there were a lot of things that kind of could go wrong. So I want to see what they were doing and if they would allow me to continue further before I actually end up like pushing more. If I saw that they didn't have ways to respond to me earlier, then I would have been able to, if I didn't have ways, or if I knew that they didn't have ways to respond to the jump that I was making, I would have gone fairly aggressive fairly soon or quickly. But oh, hello Kiri. Bleh. I'm just going to be trying to live here. Me and our Mei are kind of in a really good position. Reaper's looking to just sort of like mark me out and make it as hard as possible to get back into this fight, but me and our Mei are going to be able to pressure their Cassidy here. Reaper peeling us more. I'm just going to be running away because I don't really want to be dealing with that high noon. I believe in our Mei to live, so I'm just going to look main, trying to pressure out this Juno, who's 1 HP, 111 HP, 111 HP. And we'll be going down. Cassidy on this right side, Reaper's TPing up, and I'm going to be jumping on this actually to see if I can take them down. Cart is still really far back, and our team isn't the biggest fans of pushing it, which makes this a little bit difficult since I've spent most of my time on the cart instead of building up my primal or any opportunities for us to really step and get active, which is very hard since somebody in the end somebody has to push a cart. In ranked, a lot of times you won't want to be on the cart, but it'll just have to be you since someone else really will. And I want to be thinking about how I can get value elsewhere. Orisa swap makes my day. I now have a lot more agency of actually finding kills onto heroes like their Cassidy or their Juno. As they pop their Ray though, I'm going to be trying to live a bit. Unfortunately, as my team goes down, I'm just going to be dying on the cart. Valkyrie used, and we'll be going down. Unfortunate fight for us, but Ray is going to be pretty significant. 20 seconds on the clock until the game actually starts, and I think we are going to be able to farm our primal for the big important fight around like the 1 minute mark, but I'm a little bit scared of how that's going to look for our team. Cassie's swinging fairly wide. Orisa is pushing forward as well. I see the Reaper TPing on this high ground, which is going to be something that I really want to step at. Kitsune Rush being used, and it's the best Kitsune Rush in the entire world. Reaper 1 HP and wants to be TPing out. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see where they TP to. Cart is still really far back and getting pushed. Juno is the one on the cart, and they're going to be denying us kind of most of our value from winning that fight. It's really, really, really rough when we're forced to be on the cart as tanks. I'm going to let our Kiriko get it, actually, and I'm going to be poking up for my Primal. If I'm able to force something here, Cassie's on this left side. I'm just trying to see if I can zone their Orisa during their wall. Cassie is split from the rest of their team. Unfortunately, our team is a little bit far back, which is okay. Cassie's still 1 HP, which we are going to be able to find that kill because we pressured early. We got the chance because we weren't on the cart. Kiriko 1-1-1-1, and we are going to find that as well. I want to greed my Primal here if I can. Reaper needs to go down to do so, and I'm making sure that they are not scaling the cart again because we need to get the progress off of winning this fight. I'm going to trust that my Kiriko can live and just continue to push the cart, as now we have the opportunity to get really active. So now I have my Primal Rage. Their entire team is walking. Oh, if I see the Reaper TP anywhere, we win the game. Cassie's main, Reaper's main. I'm going to be taking this coast side area as it's very difficult for us to get onto that point. Reaper's 1 HP, uses their fade, and now if I see the Orisa walk anywhere, I can maybe look to step. The enemy team just played this fight very, very well, and I need to be getting my Primal early and aggressive to force out stuff so that we can get a good Blizzard on the cart later. They don't have any damage to really negate my Primal here. So I'm just going to be continuing into their spawn room. As their Cassie walks forward, though, it's going to be my cue to back. Our Mercy does live, and now we have the best ultimates we could ever want ever on the cart. They do have their Death Blossom, they have their High Noon. I'm staging this left side now to make it easier for me to get onto the back line when I need to. Massive kills from my Cassie, and their Cassie is 1 HP, so I'm going to be following up on that, trying to deny that playmaking potential that their hit scan would have. 2 big Brawl ultimates on the cart. As Maga pins forward, they're not going to have any way to really stop themselves from getting frozen. And we will be winning that game. So I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a lot of my early potential there was rather limited from being forced to play on the cart. So the real carry of this game was our Kiriko, who took over the cart role for us and was going to allow us to actually push forward and force out a lot of stuff early before they got, or the enemy team was able to take the payload. And that will be getting us further into our Champ 4 queues. Very, very, very fun session today on Winston. It is Winston's birthday. June 6th is Winston's birthday, so I felt like I needed to make a video about it. So thank you guys, my YouTube video audience, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Bang. And then it cuts like right there, and then we go into the next, and then the video ends right there. But now we can look for our other ranked lessons. I'm not gonna lie, I still don't really feel that amazing mechanically today, so I might try to I might not do the Sojourn video today, and we might try to lean into something else. So I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm sorry, YouTube gang. I know it's been a while. I still don't really know how to work the YouTube chat system. I'm going to be running a poll in Twitch chat. Actually, just anyone, if we want a hero in either DPS or support to be played right now for the ranked lessons, just type it in chat. I'm going to grab a little bit of water and then catch up on reading chat. What up, Astro Zombie? Oh, hi, Lukewarm. Toro, yeah, alright, thank you so much for the follow, Toro. Oh, and thank you, wait. Yeah, Aurorazor, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. And Danelle77, thank you for the follow. All goats, all goats. VOD review, please. We can... I do want to be getting some VOD review, or I do want to have another VODing video pretty soon. Or not VODing video, but VODing stream pretty soon. I don't think that can be today. If it's today, then it might be if I stream a little bit later tonight. which if I end up streaming later tonight, the way that anyone or any new members in the chat here can find that out is I will be posting an announcement in my Discord server, which I'm putting in the chat now. So if I end up streaming later tonight, I will post it in there, as well as whatever I'm planning on streaming. I'm just taking a quick little break. Sojourn video. Bro, you want to make the Sojourn video, Luke? You got that? That is probably what I'm gonna do. I think for next like April Fools or something, I'm just gonna have like somebody else do a ranked lesson episode. I'm just not gonna say anything. I think it'll be really funny. But April Fool's quite a while away, I fear. Tell me how we lose Ilios. Wait, oh, wait, hold up. Don't need a reason to be silly. True, true. Sade, quick facts for bans. 2 heroes from 1 role can be... It's the most that can be banned. The team with the most votes on a character gets a ban first, and then the other team gets to ban 2 heroes. Fine black. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that's cool. Ban system works on point where the leftmost character gets the highest point, whereas the rightmost character gets the least points. Oh, that's really interesting. I might actually think on that a little bit later. I haven't thought about bans too much. At least I thought about them a lot when they first dropped. And then I came to the conclusion I was not the biggest fan. So then I kind of stopped thinking about them a lot. Yo, thank you so much for the sub, Lukewarm. Wait, hold on. I'm dropping... If you stream later, I'm dropping you my prime. Let me know, bro. So sleepy today, it's frustrating. I get it. I really get it. 4 bans per match is a little bit too much. I super agree. Okay, I'm going on a quick little tangent. Hold on. Let me break out something that's a bit familiar while I go on this quick tangent. And then we'll get into the next rank lessons. While I go on this tangent, type in chat the hero that you want to see played for now. I miss my grapple. I could never be him. Alright, I'll be 1 ring down. I really dislike bans and how they're implemented in ranked, because what it does is it encourages easy and band-aid solutions to actually getting better at the game. Where, like, there was a really good comment on my Queen video yesterday of where I was talking about bans because I figured that it could be fairly important for people. Or it could be nice for people to know what good bans would be for like each individual hero that I cover. But there was a really good point of with the Queen ban, if you're banning Zarya constantly, you're never ever going to learn how to actually play into the matchup, even though it's a very doable matchup, especially in ranked. You're going to have a lot of options, and Queen is one of the heroes that has a ridiculously high skill ceiling because she is so mechanically focused. If you're hitting your knives, you're going to be able to force out their bubbles to the point where they won't be able to consistently use it to block your axe healing much. But if you're always banning Zarya, you're never actually going to be able to develop the skills to really learn how to play your hero properly. I talked about it a little bit earlier today, but I strongly believe in the idea that limitation breeds creativity, where if you are limiting yourself or restricting yourself to like a few possibilities or a few avenues of accomplishing a goal, you're going to have a better understanding of how to actually get to that goal by the end, rather than if you had every single option like out there. So the convenience of banning heroes that aren't good for you makes the game step into a lot more of an unhealthy direction, IMO, because the people that benefit most from it are the people who one-trick really obscure heroes and then they don't have to learn their counters. Primarily, I'm thinking about Roadhog players, because anytime I load into a lobby and I see that the enemy team banned Orisa and Ana, I just like that is like the main, or the two main Roadhog counters, and no Roadhog player in NA ever knows how to play against them now. Like, if you've ever seen like a Roadhog player like have to play into an Ana and Orisa, they don't know what to do, because they can just ban it now. They've just forgotten how to play the matchup entirely. They've become worse at the game, even though their SR is a little bit higher, or their rank could be a little bit higher, because they can force their obscure hero. They're making the game a lot like less fun for everybody else, as well as they're not actually benefiting from learning their matchups and their hero properly. I believe if you're gonna one trick, do it properly. Do it right, so that you learn how to win through different scenarios using your hero. I really dislike bans and how they're implemented in the current game state, or at least in competitive. I do like bans in the sort of like team-based environment, or like tournament face-it matches and whatnot, where each team gets one hero that they ban. I think that is wonderful. I think that is awesome. And then if you ban a hero for one map, you're not able to ban them for the rest of the series. I think that's a really cool thing, and it adds a lot of depth to team play and strategizing your team composition, and it's added a lot of sort of fluidity to the game, rather than in previous iterations of Overwatch, somebody would figure out the one best comp and then everybody would play that. Now, if you don't want to play the one best comp, you're going to have options to sort of like take it down if you understand its value and how to negate its value through your hero bans best. If you're able to take down a popular idea, but forcing yourself to utilize different bans on different maps to make the most dominant idea weaker, that's cool to me. That's really sick. But how it's implemented in ranks, I think is just really yucky. I don't know. I don't know if you could hear it in my inflection, but when I wasn't shooting things, I was putting my hand up like he does. Okay, let me scroll through chat a little bit. Support should be required to be on the rank on the right. This would fix the game. I would like that. That'd be funny. Ash, okay. Sim, Zen. We did a Zen video. Unfortunately, I'm gonna try to get through every hero before I start looping back to some. Bap, Sim, Zen, Ash. Should not be allowed to only play Roadhog and get to ban Maga every. Yep, I agree, Toro. Oh yeah, I forgot about Maga as a hero. Remove private profiles, show the entire lobby before bans, player names, top heroes, no streamer modes. Maybe. I wouldn't mind that. I do like private profiles for the majority of the player base. Okay, here's another hot take. Wait, low key, before we get into our ranked list, I think I know who we're gonna play. Who I play in practice range? No, for our ranked lessons, whatever hero we want to explore later. Yo, thank you. What happened to my? What happened? Hold on. I can't see most of my activity feed on. There we go. Okay, now I can. I just accidentally scrolled down. Take them out of Masters Plus. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be my hot take. My last rant, and then we're gonna get into our ranked lessons for today. Challenger score is fucking stupid. I think a lot of people agree on this. There are a lot of people who are recently climbing to high ranks and very impressive ranks, but are still like not top 500, and they think that that's just kind of normal. I recently had somebody message me from watching the ranked lessons videos, who said like, yo, thank you so much for like the videos. I just hit like champ 3 or champ 4, I forget. It was like decently into champ, and I'm like, god damn bro, you're goated. And then like later they followed up with like, yeah, it's really exciting, but I'm hoping to get like top 500 pretty soon. And I thought to myself, that like if you're champ 3, you're like low-key like top 100 in like previous leaderboards, you'd like already be top 100. It's kind of ridiculous how warped how how warped the challenger score is. So here is my solution. Oh, hold on, let me view it. My solution to challenger score is to, as soon as you hit champion, there needs to be a few things that change. Number one, there is one champion rank. You are just champ. It's just the rank called champion. There's not champ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. It's just champion, and immediately, as soon as you hit that rank, you bring back SR. Just straight up a skill rating. You show the visible number to the player, and so that you're able to climb based off that number and make the leaderboard completely around SR at champion specifically. I understand the logic and the reasonings as to why Blizzard added the current rank system of being like GM1, GM2, like Masters, Diamond 5, 4, 3, whatever. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I actually don't think that's terrible. I do think that the calibration makes things a little bit yucky. That's the general idea I really agree with and I like. However, the main thing or the main drawback as to why they wanted to get rid of SR is because it's very, very easy to get really frustrated as the number goes down. It's super easy to sort of like get very upset seeing the number go down like every single game rather than like a slightly like less objective like generalized rank. You still have your percentages and whatnot to fulfill the people's need who kind of want SR but don't really want to get it. So that's like they found a really nice middle ground between the SR system and the card system that they had in early Overwatch 2. I think that it's very good for the current landscape of the game. However, when you get to champion, the very important thing to note about the player base is that these are the people that grind. These are the people that devote a lot of time and effort and energy to getting better at the game. They value their skill in the game, in which they would be more greatly, I believe, that champ players, and every champ player that I've talked to has just straight up missed SR. It's just a very clear objective number that they can handle, at least, because when you're that devoted to the game, you want that really specific understanding of where your skills lie, because your enjoyment from the game has been solely based off of improving. And I'm gonna be honest, because from a marketing standpoint, you don't want your players to quit. You don't want your players to quit playing Overwatch. They're gonna stop buying your skins. You're not gonna get any money. You want players to continue playing their game, and an SR system for the general player base would be really bad for that, because seeing the number going down would make players really like discouraged from coming back after like a big loss streak, and now they're like down 1,000 SR or something, and they're like, damn bro, I fucking suck, rather than a little bit less objective or a little bit sort of like looser terms. It just feels better. A little bit better. It still sucks to lose. It still sucks to derank, but SR was like genuinely really harmful to a lot of players' mental. But with the with champion players, they're not going to quit the game easily, bro. They are not going to quit the game easily. Straight up, if you have put in enough time to get to champion, you really like this game. You really like this game. At least 99% of the champ player base, like, has put in so much time that quitting the game is incredibly difficult. So you are risking very little by adding SR. I think that you are potentially gaining quite a lot of interaction and enjoyment for the champ player base. And I know this is catering to literally the top like 1%. However, I believe that for a lot of games like this, the pro player base and like the top player base ends up shaping a lot of the interactions that you or the general player base has, because it's much easier to develop a platform when you have skills in the game to communicate or sort of like showcase your thoughts to a larger audience. So like you'll see like PGE videos. I'm sure a lot of people like of all ranks watch like PGE, Seeker, Super, whatever. I don't really know who the popular people are nowadays. But there's always a general trend of if you're like top 500 GM, you're gonna have a much easier time actually building up an audience because it's entertaining to watch good players. It's fun to see like cool shots being hit and go, yeah! Like it just triggers the dopamine in your brain really easily. So because of that, the sentiments of these top players are going to be expressed and potentially parroted by a lot of different people. So developing and actually putting proper time and resources into making sure that the top percentage of the player base is happy and in a good place and a good relationship with the game, I believe is extremely beneficial to the overall enjoyment and well-being of a game's health. Because if like a champ player is more motivated to open up the game and has more fun, the general content that they would create could be better, as well as they are going to have a lot more positive things to say about the game, in which that sentiment about Overwatch would be very easily picked up by anyone who they express those opinions to. But going back to SR here, it would also add a very nice divide in a little sense, or not nice divide. I don't like divides too much, but I do think when I think of League of Legends champion, or was it challenger in League of Legends, the idea to me seems so cool. It seems so incredibly cool. Where it's like, damn, you gotta be really, really good at this game to get that rank. It means something because it's so incredibly difficult. I thought when Champ first dropped and like some of the best players that I knew weren't able to hit it. I actually wasn't able to hit Champ. Wait, no, I hit Champ on support. But I wasn't able to hit Champ on tank in the first few seasons I was out, when it was like disgustingly hard to get, and the best players in the entire world were only getting up to like Champ like 4 or 3. I actually grinded. That was the last period in which I actually like super grinded ranked and really cared about the rank system, because I thought it was just so fucking cool. And when you're making environments for these top percentages of the player base, you have to understand and recognize that these are the people who really, really, really fucking like your game. In which they're not going to quit easily. They're really, really not going to quit easily, so that they're going to continue. You want to give them a challenge. They like being challenged. Ranked in concept, in theory, is consistently and constantly challenging yourself to do better, to do more. And ranks are the sort of like reward that you get for becoming better. You want to get to a high rank because it's cool to you, because it feels good. It showcases that you're good at the game, which is something that you want. So giving your top percentage of the player base a bigger challenge is really, really good. And I'm actually really sad that they made Champ much easier to hit. Like I used to have to, like, I only was able to hit Champ on support. And even like turbo grinding tank, I wasn't able to hit the old Champ, but I really tried. I put in so much time, and I loved the grind. I loved the process so much. That was the last time that I felt genuinely motivated to get better in ranked, to get really, really better in ranked. For the most part, I usually spend all of my time in ranked either making content or developing my skills for content, or I do it so that my tournament performances or my ability to execute ideas in a team environment are better. I literally could not tell you my peak. I could not tell you my peak rank as a player, because for so long I've been just playing to just be better at team play. Like I hit like 4-4 or 4-5 in Overwatch 1, or 44 or 44 500, I don't remember which one. That was for the sole reason of being able to trial for like any like big team that I wanted. And it was like kind of really cool. But having that SR of like 4,500 was still really cool. When I heard that somebody was like 4,500 player, I'm like, God damn. God damn, bro. Okay. And then like you would have like these crazy good players like Speedily who were able to hit like 4.8 towards the end of Overwatch 1. It was like high 4.7. It's insane. It's genuinely like it showcases just how good they are when you have the real number. And sure, yeah, Champ 1 or Champ 2, whatever, like gives you that. And it is very hard to hit those ranks. I've only gotten up to I don't remember Champ 2 or Champ 3 because I don't really care. But you like genuinely like getting to a high rank off of a leaderboard based off of a numerical system is what the rank or what the top 1% or what the champion players want. From almost every single interaction I've had, that is what they want. So looping back to the actual point of what I'm getting at here, my conclusion, my theory is as soon as you hit champ, take out the numbers. There's no champ 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's just champion. You bring back SR, and the leaderboard is completely off of that SR. If your number is higher than somebody else's, you are above them on the leaderboard. If they're lower, then you're lower on the leaderboard. That's just how it would go. This is much more effective at developing a healthy player base because it is a authentic way to promote competitiveness and playing the game more. If you give your top level players a real challenge and a reward that they want, you are going to have a much more dedicated community that's going to want to grind rather than rewarding them for the actual grind itself of challenger score. Because you can like hold on, like let's see, like bang, Masters 2 is ranked 24. I don't know, no flame to this person, I'm sure that they're great. I don't mean this to flame anyone, but the leaderboard of challenger score, the difference between a champ 2 player and a champ 4 player is already insane. Because at the top 1% of the player base, in most games that I understand, gets to be exponential growth or of skill instead of sort of like stagnant or like straight climbing of growth. The differences of skill here are ridiculous. Like through the top 100, you generally want your player base to be around the same skill level, but this is really like all over the place. Like I'm good at the game. I'm good at Overwatch, but there are players in North America like way better than me. Any like even like low to mid tier OWCS player is significantly better than me at the game. Even though like I would be like a champ 2 player and they might also be a champ 2 player, like it doesn't showcase it much. But SR did. SR straight up did. If you are a good player, you would get a very high number. And I believe that's what champ wants. So you take it out, you take out the number system, you take out challenger score. As soon as you hit champ, you have the SR system. And then before that, maybe before champion, sure, challenger score to determine leaderboard, maybe that would work. That'd be fine. You could have a sort of hybrid. But I really think that to promote a healthy environment for the game across its entire player base, not just the top 1%, you really need to give the top players a challenge. You need to give them something they want. And I don't think that that's it right now. I know so many high rank players, GM, champ players who just straight up don't care about grinding right now because the leaderboard is just, it doesn't mean much. It's not like Lukewarm is not barely like, oh, that's combined. Okay. Lukewarm's really good. Very good. I think they were in chat earlier. I don't know if they still are. Super is ranked 482 with 100 games played. Like that was probably one of, if not the best tank for years and years and years. And you're telling me that they're not like top 100? I know it's damage, but still, it's just kind of insane. Like if actually, I'd really like some more perspective on this because I can only view this from my perspective as a champ player. It's been it's been a while since since I've been in any rank below like GM. So I don't remember exactly sort of what it's like exactly, kind of like looking at the leader or looking at like the rank system from that POV. So for people in the chat, I have a question. Like, when you take a look at the sort of like competitive info, I remember being like awestruck looking at this, and I was like in gold, and I was like, wow, people could get so high. There's so many ranks above me. That's so cool. I want to climb up that. I thought it was just so cool that there were players that could get those ranks. I don't know if that's still the case, but my primary question is, how do you view challenger score? Do you see someone who's top 500 in challenger score right now and go, wow, that's amazing? Is that something that kind of happens? I don't mean it from like a place of like sort of putting anyone down. I'm genuinely curious because I have a limited perspective and I've only been able to have like this for a bit now. What up, Isaac? Alright, sorry, I'm catching up with chat now. Just tuning in, are you still going to be playing more Winston, or are you done for now? I'm done with Winston for now, but I am going to be playing a little bit. I'm going to be playing more games. You're 100% the same. Maybe would rather ban theirs. Yeah, that's bans. A lot of things just be a toggle, make the SR default off, and tryhards can turn. I agree with that. Ooh, that's a really good idea. SR default off, and then tryhards could toggle it on. That's a really good shout. Shout out Paul Sargasm from the YouTube chat. I really like that idea. You think it just shows that they play a lot? Yeah. Okay. From a highlight perspective, it's still like the SR system back too for champ. Hate challenger score. I hate when you go on lost streak to GM5 and get flamed for, yeah, you can rank 50. Yeah. Tend to think they're jobless bums, so maybe I'm wrong here. That's fine. That's okay. We like high key. Most of the top players are just jobless bums. But that's okay. That's kind of the truth. You kind of spitting with that. Don't look at the rankings. Certainly no, because challenger score is mostly grind. Yeah, okay. Don't think anyone likes challenger score, but you also think people are playing way more at higher ranks now. Okay. Heartsuck plat. Don't know what y'all are talking about. Okay. Bronze players, so gold. I think it's like quite impressive of me. Here in mid diamond, I feel like challenger score made top 500 mostly me. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad that it seems to be a pretty common sentiment that challenger score just makes the leaderboard kind of meaningless. You can still toggle to see it by rank, but if the defaults matter, convenience matters for things like this. Like what the yeah, I got to do this, and then I got to do this, and then I got to do this again. Hello, to see the like real leaderboard for a role. Like, come on now. Come on now. Still don't like seeing your hero SR on your profile. I'd rather see your time played. That makes sense. Still eyeing up those 30. Are we gonna open loot box before we go in? Really see that. When you're watching streams or video, you don't really care what rank they are because they're probably better than me. I get it. I get it. It's like me watching like melee videos. Your question, no, leaderboard is very unimpressive. Masters player. When I see players my rank or lower above, players I watch in ODCS just immediately lose all faith in it. Yep, I agree. Obviously they're good if they're even in top 500, but I think it kind of rewards good players who play often more than good players in general. Yes, I agree. Off the convenience matter, it makes such a difference that it resets every time. I agree. It pisses me off so much. I don't look at the leaderboard much because I try to go, oh, well, let me see the damage, and then I change it to the rank, and then I want to look at the tank, and I have to change it to the rank again? And then I turn it to friends, and it goes defaults to challenger score. Just make the default rank. I don't give a gaff about challenger score. If you want challenger score to be like show on your profile, that's whatever. I think it should be an individual toggle if you want your profile to show your challenger score rank or your like SR rank. That'd be fine. I agree. Convenience is, oh my god. I just don't like opening the leaderboard right now because it just sucks. It just sucks to navigate. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean much. It doesn't. Okay, this is actually the best thing ever. High key, like, promoting socials on leaderboard, though, best thing ever. That is a genius, brilliant move. Double exclamation mark. Being able to see live streams of, like, I low-key gotta actually set that up. Wait, I low-key gotta set... Wait, am I on top of it yet? No, I'm not. That's okay. Alright, we're gonna be locking into our ranked lessons here in a second. I'm just gonna take a quick sip of water. What weapon did I pick for gold? We decided on a Tracer Galactic gun for this specific skin because it makes the... It just looks snazzy. It just looks snazzy because it's already it already has these sort of like shiny and like holographic aspects to the gun. With the Galactic skin, it just looks so cool. Make good on my promise? Yes, yes, I'll open up the loot boxes. Need 750 rank games to be eligible. How many do I have? I don't know. Automotive seasons. 750? You need 750 to be eligible? Oh. Okay, so maybe I'm not getting that. I could maybe if the season changes, I'll run like a poll to see if we want to like switch our account to an account that I have 750 games on to get leaderboard, because it would be really nice to promote like stream and YouTube stuff on the leaderboard itself. And I think that as the ranked lessons go on, I can get very high in the combined SR. But I'll run it by the audience, because if we've grown attached to this account, that is more than fine. It's not that big of a deal. I have other marketing methods that I plan for the future. Fundamentally, it's always correct to start main the routine. Oh, fundamentally, is it okay? Is it always correct to start main then rotate to an off angle instead of starting an off angle on Tracer? I usually like, it depends on the matchup a little bit. If I notice that it's hard to get active through main, if I notice that it's hard to get active through main, then I'm going to be looking for more off angles from main or off angles from the start of fights. But if I don't really need to get onto the backline or mark out any threats on lanes, then you can just start main and then go to an off angle later. But if you know that you need to be getting active or marking out a threat, then I think starting an off angle is usually pretty good. I usually default to starting on off angle and then peeling main if I need, but I think it's situational. Am I TikTok? I have plans for all short form. I actually did a lot of studying. I ran a quick... You can find me on TikTok. It's just EVFPS, I believe. Yeah, it'd also be map dependent. You can find me on TikTok. It's EVFPS. I made some previous ones. And I just challenged myself like a while ago to just try to solve the algorithm. Or at least have a good understanding of it for when I did make content. So I'm going to be getting TikToks up soon. That's actually very high on my to-do list, and I'm talking with some people now to help with it, because I very quickly, after this channel started doing well, I very quickly ran out of time in my days. But That's okay, because a lot of people have been so nice and helpful and are very willing to support the channel, so I'm able to make more content as I develop my skills further. Alright, I'm opening our loot boxes now, and then we're going to be getting into our ranked lessons. Saw Ash, I saw Symmetra. I do want to see if I can get a support video out. I think Kiriko could be good, but I might leave that for a bit later. Lucio? Mizuki? Ooh. I kind of like the idea of Mizuki. I think... Is anyone in the chat going hip hip hooray at the thought of the Mizuki video? Is 250 wins to be eligible? It used to be 750. Oh, awesome, perfect. Okay, we'll be fine. Oh, wait. You can be eligible soon. Alright, awesome. Crazy for Mizuki? Bet. Let's go. Please always... I agree. Mizuki has no aura. Alright, first open up the loot boxes. I'll open up the legendary ones first. Like the Mizuki vid. Penguin. Ooh, wait, that's cute. That's a cute skin. I'm not gonna lie, I hate a lot of Reinhardt skins. I just don't like main tank skins. But I like the Germany flags. I think that's kind of awesome. And I like his little hat. Okay, actually this one's growing on me the more I look at it. Fortunately, I'm very picky about Reinhardt.
Too edgy for
you. Epic loot box. He has so much aura, heartbroken. I think his design is cool.
The rooster.
This is kind of nice Widow skin. I think most of this is kind of dud though. I do like that Trick or Treat Tracer though. Alright, show me the normal ones. This is going to be the best pulls. These are going to be the best pulls. Come on, no whammies. Big bucks, no whammies. Oh. Oh, wait. I like that Diva skin. That's awesome. Wooden ball. That could be fun. Null sector. I'll equip that. I just like highlight intros. Also, every highlight intro I get will helps me make like thumbnails and stuff. Oh, that's fun. I like these victory poses. I really like the metal victory poses. Unfortunately, I'm probably never gonna switch my player icon.
Guess we'll do this the old.
You're not scared, are you?
Okay. I'll equip some of these voice lines.
What are you? Feliz Navidad.
Imagine swapping your icon. I have something to say to you about that, Nev, but I think that you might. I think you already know, so I'm not gonna say it. All right, but let's get into our support rank lessons for today. Gonna be focusing on Mizuki, and then I'll play BAP as a backup if Mizuki is banned. Okay, I think how I'm going to try to do it for this video is I will talk about, like, I'll just cut in, like, immediately. I'll cut into the video, like, when we're actually, like, loaded in and, like, picking our heroes and whatnot. And then I'll, like, quickly talk about, like, what bans could have been good for us on the heroes. But I'm still leaving it up in the air. So it'll get across the point of, like, if people want bans, or if people want a ban for the specific hero of the video, they'll still have my take on it, but it won't be nearly as much time spent, as well as I won't be, like, super harping on it for, like, 50 seconds. Wasn't able to find this RA posted somewhere. Do you have preferred pronouns? Yep, any pronouns work. Go any all pronouns. I want people to sort of use whatever comes naturally. I do not. I am one of the non-gaffers about pronouns. Wow. You're getting better at stream sniping, Dev. Okay. Locking into our first game here for the day, we are going to be focusing on Mizuki for this video. Mizuki has a lot of different ways in which that they can find value, and it's being more and more explored as time goes on. Since they're one of the newer heroes, people are still discovering quite a few ways to play this hero to find success. But for Mizuki, a lot of what I've experienced to be fairly strong against them is very strong shooter heroes, so it might be good to ban out people like Ashe, Freya, people who don't have too much mobility, but are able to just shoot the fuck out of you. So those might be like heroes like hit scans might be something that I'd look to ban a bit more, or heroes like a Mauga or Ramatra. But looking at our team comp here, we have our Doomfist, Sojourn, Tracer, and Juno. Juno's going to be a very, very important person to make sure that we keep alive here, so I think that I'm going to be looking to stack on them to start, but every time that I see a opportunity to potentially get a good chain onto something that could threaten my Juno, that might be the play that we want to lean into. We see that their Genji's on that top left area, and as our Doomfist goes down, I'm going to be leaning towards our cart here, trying to carry our Juno a bit, and looking for a chain on this Junker Queen. We do find the trade, but unfortunately we are very, very low in terms of our team members alive, so we will be going back to the spawn. Our Juno swaps to a Moira, so we're going to have a lot more agency, and we can play a lot more aggressive throughout our game, at least in this next few fights. How I could be going main on with our team. I'm going to try going this right side though. I want to be looking for chains to open up space for our Doomfist to sort of step. So if I'm able to hit a chain on something like this Genji or Tracer, we immediately forced out a lot of their stuff. So we forced out their Genji's dash, their deflect, as well as their Tracer's recall. As I have my dash ready, I'm going to be proccing it for the speed boost, hitting the chain onto the Alari, and now immediately back in as soon as things start to get a little bit hairy. Our Tracer is pushing the cart. Didn't need that. So we're going to be in a pretty decent spot here. I'm looking to step forward with my chain yet again. We end up canceling the Genji's dash and then taking them down shortly afterwards. The main flowchart of being able to find a bunch of impact as Mizuki is going to be looking for your dash forward, an aggressive chain, and then recall back to wherever you ended up. So with their Junker Queen shouting onto my Sojourn, I'm looking to try to find LOS to care them any way that I can. But as their queen goes down, the threat is going to be gone, and we will be pushing this payload further. They have a lot of ultimates on the board. With Mizuki's ult, which we have coming up shortly here, it's primarily really good to be used in a defensive manner. However, with the recent patch, you can be using it in a lot more situations, as it will really strongly enable Brawl now that the enemy team is not able to shoot into it or out of it. Making it so that the enemy team is not able to shoot out of it is really, really strong. Because you're able to use it somewhat like a Winston bubble if you've ever played against a Winston who has like a good bubble dance, where if you walk into their bubble and then they walk out of it and then you walk back into it, it's going to enable you to deny a lot of damage from coming onto you. As the payload sort of just chills, I'm looking for any chain that I can, but unfortunately I'm going to miss my timer to go back. I leave unpunished because they didn't actually have people around. But as their team sort of walks forward, I'm just going to be chilling around this main area. Our Moira goes down, which is going to make things kind of hard. I could ult, but I think that I'm just going to be chilling. Their Tracer ends up walking towards us. But their Genji is able to take us down a little bit later. But aside from that, that will be a-okay. I don't think that they use an ultimate, which is fine. I think the main thing that I want to be thinking about for my Mizuki ult is I want to stay a little bit stacked towards my Sojourn, and I want to see if I can eat their Alari ult. Since our Mizuki ult acts as like a defense matrix, we're going to be able to stop abilities or ultimates like the Sunstrike that their Alari is going to use probably in this next fight. Since our Tracer is maintaining this sort of area, we're down quite a few people. I'm going to be lurking over here because I can pressure their high ground as our team wants to walk, as well as carry my Tracer on this angle. If their Genji gets baited forward, I could be getting a really effective chain. But as my team is about ready to get active, I'm going to be stepping. I'm not on my... I'm using my Mizuki ult here to fight this brawl against the Genji and take control of this high ground. Finding damage onto their Ana, throwing some hats on my Doomfist. I could just be chilling onto the high ground, but as I had my dash ready, I could be looking to drop, and then later TP back up, which will be baiting out their Junker Queen into a really, really rough position, and then their Genji very low. I just want to be chilling. We are going to be enabling our Tracer to find that kill, but as their Ana steps forward, I don't really want to be fighting that without my dash or my chain. So I'm going to be chilling. I think that I hear a lot of them left side, so I'm maybe just taking this right side to make sure I give myself a safe TP in. But I think their Alari is still over here. I'm going to see if I can maybe find a chain, but as I don't, I'm just going to be stacking towards my Sojourn a bit more. Junker Queen on the point. Unfortunately, not going to hit any shots off of our chain to get that extra damage, but as A-OK, our Doomfist finds an amazing kill onto the Ana, and then their Alari soon falls. Going to 2 will make things a little bit hard for us since our Junker Queen is able to sit on the cart. I missed my chain on the Genji, which is going to put us in a bit of a difficult spot because they might look to dash onto us or our Sojourn, and I'm not going to be able to do too much about it. But as their Genji starts to walk left side, I'm just going to try to spam that out. Really good play to go from the high ground. I did not expect that. But unfortunately, our team was too close, in which we'll be able to peel the Genji and help us out in that fight. Scared of that Tracer, but I don't have my chain yet. As I see their team starting to back and my team pushing forward, I'm looking for an off angle to get a chain off potentially. But as their Junker Queen looks to step at me, even though I didn't hit my chain, we did force out their shout, which is going to enable all of our team to have every single cooldown advantage into that Junker Queen, and we will be taking them down. Chain onto the Genji, stop their kite. I'm going to be committing here instead of TPing back because our team was brawling with me, as well as I still had a lot of HP. I thought that I could just win the duel against Iana. Swapping off of Junker Queen here, it's going to make things, I think, maybe a little bit harder. Doomfist Mirror now is going to be really, really good for us on Mizuki because chain is going to be one of the strongest counters to more kind of movement or mobility based heroes like Doomfist. We hit the chain onto it, but unfortunately the Nano Blade is going to be a little bit too much for us to handle. I was not ult tracking before that fight, so we will be going down there, but that is A-OK as we still have the lead. We're going to be in a pretty good spot for a while now. And with our Mizuki ult at the ready, I think we can just kind of chill. I'm going to do that same play that worked earlier with our Tracer. I could look for an aggressive ult here, but as their Alari backs up, maybe I just want to chill. Doomfist goes down. We are able to... We are able to live that Doomfist and take down the Tracer. Doomfist no block. This is going to be chasing us more potentially, but as I hear them go elsewhere, I'm just going to be using my dash to get onto their Ana and run away from the Doomfist. Which will be allowing our team to get back into the fight since we bought enough time taking away the primary threats of that fight and forcing them to look at us instead of the rest of our team. So we will contest the cart, we won't allow them to get any payload space back, and then win that points in that fight. A little bit worried. I don't know where their Genji is really. I see a main, so now I know where I can be playing. I think their Doomfist is almost back. I'm looking for a chain onto their Genji. We force out deflect, but I'm going to be using my dash to back here. Since we don't have a tank and I don't have my chain, I have no real resources that will keep me alive in case they want to step at me. But as Coalescence gets used, I see their Reaper on this left side. I don't have my chain ability yet, and I do end up whiffing it, but that's okay. As Genji dashes onto me, I'm just going to be trying to back up. I really need to not die because it'll give him the dash reset. Unfortunately, I do die. He gets his dash reset, but I think we bought enough time for our team to stabilize a little bit more. In which they were going to find more kills off of it, and we will be winning that fight. We're making pretty good time here. It was that fight was very important, since if they won that fight, they would have been able to get the lead potentially using an ultimate advantage. But now that we won that fight, we pushed it all the way over there. They only have 30 seconds on the clock, and potentially they're going to need an ultimate to get control of the payload right now. But as I ate my brains out, things are going to be a lot harder. I wanted to see if I could fight that left side, because if we were able to force out any cooldowns, it would have been really good. But as our team fought right side, they were able to get a good +1, and the Reaper was able to catch me off guard. But I think we can still make this work, especially as the Doomfist goes down. We're going to be a pretty decent spot. I'm scared of their Reaper primarily. I hear their Larion left. I hear their Reaper towards point. Fortunately, missing my chain, but we are going to find a lot of damage into that Reaper, and we will be winning our first game here on Mizuki. Ending 16-6, pretty even on our damage and our healing. That's going to be, I think, fairly frequent on Mizuki. Since we want to be doing a lot of damage, we don't actually have that much healing to sustain our team through engages. Our primary goal as Mizuki in most comp matchups, from my experience, is going to be denial of the enemy team. But that win will get us up to Grandmaster 1, continuing our winning trend on support here. So now we are in the realm of stepping into champion, and I hope that will go well. So we'll see if we are able to continue our climb in our next game. Considering what you say, I'd say mostly selfish ban. I'm not really sure if you said, but what's your logic behind bans? Do you ban heroes who make your life difficult, or what your tank wants? Before I queue, every single time before I hit the queue button, I ask myself, what am I queuing for? What is my goal of playing the game here? And if my goal is to straight up win, like I just want to win, I just want to do whatever I can to find the victory screen, then I ban in a very selfish way that will enable my hero, because trying to ban for a team's composition will be putting more of your potential value of the bans into unknown factors, being your ranked teammates. The idea of ranked and what makes a good player good is the ability to consistently find their value to win games across various different factors. So limiting factors wherever you can by focusing on only you, since it's the only consistent factor through every single one of your games, is the way to approach ranked for genuine improvement in ranked. If you start focusing on a bunch of different factors, or things outside of your control, you are not focusing on more important aspects of yourself and your own improvement. But if I'm not banning, sometimes I've had queue sessions where I try to force a hero like Reinhardt or Junker Queen or something, and then I ban Juno and Lucio. My goal is to my goal is to make it harder for myself with my bans, so that I can sort of challenge myself to focus on a specific aspect of the game. You can use bans to control the factors in the game to cater your own improvement. If you think you need to work on your pathing per se, then doing something like banning speed boost or things that will help you not have to worry about your pathing as much. If you ban those out so that your teammates couldn't help you if they wanted to, it'll help you improve more in that specific aspect. So there are a lot of ways to use bans, but I think that it kind of involves just asking yourself, what are you trying to get out of ranked? Bye, Tally. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much. Okay, but locking into our second game here, we're playing Mizuki with the bans of Reaper, Hazard, Diva, and Ana, with our team comp being Domina, Symmetra and Widowmaker and Kiriko. I'm going to be starting on this low ground area because their team comp, or our team comp, is going to be a little bit volatile to some aggressive hits. But as I see their Doomfist on this right side, I'm going to be leaning towards this area quite a bit. As I get their Doomfist low, I'm just going to be throwing hats towards my team. I'm not able to get a hat onto my Symmetra, but they will be okay and get care from my Kiriko. I'm going to be looking for an aggressive chain on this Doomfist or Freya early, because if I'm able to prevent a hit in general, it's going to be much more consistent way to take the game into my hands and trying to sustain a hit through just my healing. I see their Doomfist over here, but I do have my Domina around. As their Doomfist backs up through the coast side area, they're going to be onto my Kiriko. I'll provide a TP if they need it, but as their Doomfist is 1 HP, we're not going to be able to find the kill, but our Symmetra will be living as well, and we will continue to hold this point. I see their Doomfist very close. I'm hitting my chain onto them, enabling my team to live. I want my hat onto the Kiriko, but unfortunately I wasn't able to hit it in time. Cassie on that low ground is going to be something that I can be considering to try and push. As I'm our team's only support, now it's my time to focus a little bit more on healing rather than damage. Hitting the chain onto their Doomfist to enable my Symmetra a little bit more time to get out. Even though I couldn't necessarily full force that Doomfist, I did want to make his job harder still with my chain onto him, because if their Doomfist is able to do kind of whatever they want and get onto my Symmetra there, who was very low, there was a very good chance that they would have found that kill. But since we were able to sustain, our Symmetra is able to take down their Doomfist later in the fight, even despite my mistake of TPing into space that I could have known that they were controlling. Thinking about our next fight here, I think this is going to be kind of same old for the remainder of our defense. If I'm able to find chains onto this Doomfist, I'm going to be in a pretty good spot. I'm worried about my Symmetra, so I'm pathing over here to see if I'm able to carry it. But as their Doomfist looks to step more, I'm just going to see if I can greed my Mizuki ult. I could look to go main to try to catch them off on an off angle. I think that would have been the better play. But we're still going to find a lot of value off of chasing their Bastion. Big Symmetra teleporter. I'm maybe going to look for an early chain up here. No, as our team backs up, that will not be the play I want to go for, and I want to save my chain for a little bit later. Since they're on Malga, I'm actually going to be kind of chilling a little bit. I'm going to use my dash a little bit aggressively to get into a space to enable my team if we need it. So Malga goes down. I can be looking for an aggressive step onto the high ground. Our Widowmaker gets traded, unfortunately, but that will be okay. Hat onto my Symmetra. I see their Lucio and Kiriko up here. I force their Suzu out early and make it difficult for their team to get back onto the point. If they get onto the point, that's probably going to be where I finally use my Mizuki ult, because they're gonna they need to touch the point, and making it so that I can cut off almost all of their healing or make their Kiriko, force their Kiriko to play very close to anyone who needs to touch the point. It's gonna be pretty good for us. But as they use their beat drop, I'm gonna be using my Mizuki ult fully to sustain on this high ground, as their extra health will allow them to step super aggressively, and I will not have the ability to really sustain it. Malga not able to touch, and Symmetra wall on the point. Will both come out, and we will win this game. Or not game, round. I think that was a fairly good round. We were able to get a lot of value out of our chains, and we were able to make it very difficult for the enemy team to go for any sort of big play. But thinking about how we want to attack, it's going to be a bit harder because they have the advantage of maintaining the space already, or us being forced to push into their space. I think that we're going to be a little bit... It's going to be a little bit harder to find good chains, and we might have to play a little bit more for prevention, or for sustain instead of preventing dives. The place that I kind of want to be going for, I'm thinking about potentially starting Coast or starting Coast side and looking for a chain play to force out CDs so that our team is able to take high ground, or I could just be looking to dash directly up through a high ground. I think that main is going to be a little bit too open for me, and it's very unlikely that we're going to be able to catch someone out on the point with such oppressive high grounds that they could be holding around. But maybe it's important to just sort of keep the idea in our head in case that we see somebody on the point later, in which we could go bottom and under and through that mega area to look for a chain play to enable our team to walk later. As Mizuki, a general idea that I found a lot of success with is that I like to be the opener of fights fairly consistently. I like to use my dash aggressively in almost every matchup that I've found to force out stuff from the enemy team. So here I'm going to be looking to step, see if I can find an aggressive chain, and we are able to stop their Kiriko from being in a good spot, but unfortunately I'm going to get a little bit too trigger happy and I'm going to forget to TP back to my anchor, and our team will be going down there. I don't think that fighting on that high ground all 5 stacked is going to be the best for us because they have that right side high ground, which is really strong at denying that push. But as we swap to Doomfist, we're going to be given a lot more agency of where we want to be playing, since our Doomfist is able to contest a lot of other sort of difficult to reach places on the map. I think I'm going to be with my Symmetra here. We end up kind of all 5 stacked, which I don't know if I really like all that much. So as our team sort of steps, I'm going to be using my dash to get onto the point quickly, since this high ground is going to be one of the areas that's extremely oppressive if their team was able to stay up there. So if you can imagine right now, if their Kiriko was able to be on this coast side and just healing up their Sigma, we would have a lot less of a chance of actually forcing them off of the point. So I want to be using my mobility and my playmaking potential instead of using my numbers on the point, since our team is already good at that. I want to be denying the strong space from the enemy team. This is why Mizuki falls into the sort of main support category, is because it still is a lot about just general denial of the enemy team's plays, which almost every single main support like Brigitte, Lucio kind of do and enable. But with that out of the way, let's see what our next game looks like, and let's see if we're able to continue our winning trend. Wow, I need a lot of water. I'm getting a headache. Mizuki's so much fun though. Mizuki's really fun. What up, Cider Game? Thanks for popping in. How'd the games been today? Really good. Really good. I don't remember, like, okay, even if I don't remember how our Winston games went too much. Okay, we went even. That's fine. They were really fun. These games were really fun. Wait, that's crazy. We played Oasis Esper, Oasis Runa. That's really silly. Yo, thank you so much for the follow, S2 Jinna. I appreciate it. You love Mizuki too? They're so fun. They're so fun. I thought I was in queue. Oh well. Ban Mizuki every game makes... Yeah, they're really strong. Well, I think it's kind of strange. Because their utility is very, like, ridiculously good. Having a hinder and a soft root is... I mean, fundamentally kind of insane. Sorry about that. A few things on my desk fell over. But the ability to get aggressive with their movement ability is primarily like what I think is actually like really insane. As well as their damage is just crazy. Again, he's good. He just has 0 aura. You'll die. Yeah, I think that it just feels like bland. It doesn't feel like Overwatch, you know? Overwatch, I feel like, has all these creative, super cool ideas. Ramatra's sick as fuck. Ramatra's so cool. Torbjorn's cool. Soldier, you need one of those in an FPS game when you launch. Mei is awesome. That freeze ability, you're like Frozone, but like they're scientists, and it's so cool. But then Mizuki, it just feels like every other game has kind of done it already, you know? It's like They seem like a character from Apex or something. Do you think low-ranked players below GM/low GM is a better focus on very simple fundamentals since they're consistent, or do you need nuance to improve? It's fundamentals. I recommend. I have a video about it. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up really fast. But I go into a lot of detail in this video. It's a theory video that talks about the core idea of how to build fundamentals properly and how to discover fundamentals on your own as you progress. No matter what rank you are, this video can help a lot, I feel. I feel like this video can help a lot. But I believe that keeping things generalized is the needed thing. I think that nuance is... You don't need nuance to get good at this game. Any sort of nuance interactions should come from your intuition. You need to build your intuition in a way that it will traverse the nuance effectively, based off of your own ideas and understanding, like even subconsciously. Actually studying the nuance of the game is almost never... I don't like it much. I don't think it's helpful, and every time that I've tried it with players that I've coached or seen coaches focus on specific or nuanced aspects of the game, it ends up not being very successful. But with that, I'm locking into our third game, I think, for today. We have Ana, Zarya, Roadhog, and Reaper ban. All of those being pretty solid bans for us. I think especially Zarya, it can be a bit of a headache for Mizuki, as bubbles can be a really big issue if you hit a chain on someone or if you're trying to hit a chain on someone. We see their Tracer going right side. Fortunately, with our venture in, I'm not able to do too much, I don't think. As the D.Va walks up, I could potentially be looking for a little bit more of an aggressive step, but since I am out of my cooldowns, I'm going to be leaning back towards main. I might just get a little flanky. Their Trace is already in, which is not ideal, and ideally I'd like to sort of force them out, but as I see my team stabilizing, I'm going to set up for a play to open up the fight easier instead of trying to stack and walk with them. So we find a nice chain onto the Symmetra, and we are able to hit some pretty big damage onto their Tracer, but unfortunately our team will be going down on the walk up. The left side is going to be fairly difficult. I could be stacking on our main on our Mauga to try to deny this D.Va as much as possible. If I hit a chain onto them, it's going to make it very difficult to maneuver around the map. But I really don't like this open space for our team comp because it forces out a lot of our cooldowns, and it's hard for me to get into position to use my chain effectively. But as our D.Va walks into the point, we're going to be in a pretty decent spot. I'm not TPing back because I think that we are going to be fairly safe on the point here. As I almost have my dash back, I'm looking for a flank play to see if I can look to stop that aggression from the enemy team, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to hit my chain. They're going to be able to chase down my teleport back, and we will be losing that point. Very rough, kind of sucks. They had ultimates before us, and they're going to continue to have a little bit of an ultimate advantage here. They have their Symmetra wall, they have their D.Va bomb, they have their pulse bomb, and potentially their Juno Ray, which is not ideal for us. As I see their D.Va sort of dashing to this top right area, ring being used. I want to try to chain that D.Va, but unfortunately I'm not going to be successful in stopping it. I hear their Tracer lurking behind. Remembering that they have pulse bomb is something that I want to be thinking about. As their Kiriko walks towards me a little bit, I'm just going to be stacking main to see if I can find any value with our Kitsune Rush. And now, with their Tracer, 1 HP, I am able to swing wide to make it hard for them to hit the Pulse Bomb. I'll be talking about that concept a lot in my movement video. But we will be actually taking the point back. We have our ultimate on the board now. I believe that their team used quite a few. They used their Pulse Bomb, they used... Did they simul? I actually think they might have simul still. So with that in mind, I want to make it as hard as possible for them to use their ultimates. I think that their Symmetra is going to be TPing on this left side, so I'm going to be playing in an area where I can get a good reaction to it. I don't think I can prevent the TP, unfortunately, but I can punish the Steva for being there. And our Mauga had the same idea. I actually don't need to really... I don't need to TP back to my anchor, since our cage was going to act as a shield for us. So I'm able to stay there and clean up the Diva with our Mauga. As I see our Venture sort of low ground, I want to be getting active, but as I don't have my dash, I don't really want to be putting myself in a rough spot. With the Mauga main, I'm actually going to see if I can catch our Venture a bit here. I hear the Symmetra above me, and they're going to be looking for a play onto our backline very quickly. It's the Mauga walking. I want to see if I can get them into a committal position. Symmetra chained and the wall coming out. It's going to make it very, very difficult for us. I definitely could have won that fight and gotten a lot more value out of my ultimate. I just want to see if I could take that left side angle to start. But unfortunately, I was not able to get the value, and then I was a little bit late on carrying our Kiriko. Who really needed to stay alive for us to win that fight. If I got my ultimate on main as soon as they rushed rather than like a few seconds after, we definitely would have won that fight. But alas, that will be a-okay. I think that we had a lot of sort of difficult plays that we were forced to do towards the start of that game. But as time went on, I think that we started to find our groove a little bit as a team. I was able to get a bit more value on those sort of angles. Because main was very scary with them constantly surrounding us. But with that said, going into our second round, I think that with the Mauga and Mizuki, we're going to find a lot of value here. So I'm thinking with this play, we're going to TP up into this little room area. I'm going to keep my anchor in this room. I'm going to look for an aggressive chain onto their Diva. It's very likely that they're going to fly up to try to dodge my chain. So I'm just going to be aware of that and keep it in mind as I aim my shot. They're on Mauga, which is a-okay. I'm going to just shoot them with my chain. As Tracer's on this left side, I want to take away the health back from them and then continue to pump damage into the front line. We see the Symmetra getting somewhat low, so I'm just going to be trying to poke them out the best that I can, since we are playing a lot more for our numbers trade now. And our Venture is going to be taking most of the attention on angles. I want to keep an eye on what my Venture and my Soldier are doing, because they're going to be really, really proficient at taking angles. But primarily, I think that I'm going to be able to find a lot of value by just damaging their Mauga a lot. Since Mizuki's M1s hurt quite a bit for the enemy team, I want to see if I'm able to stop their Mauga from playing the game too much. As I see them TP to that high ground, I'm looking for an early chain. Unfortunately, not able to hit it. Tracer going to be looking to drop on me soon. As our Kiriko goes down and I'm our only healer, I need to be even more careful of that Tracer. And our Mauga pins forward, and I fortunately have my dash, which will allow me to damage their Mauga considerably. So he goes down onto his back. We can maybe poke him out. Venture is keeping touch on the point. Unfortunately, I don't really want to follow up and get second touch. And I prefer to just maintain space, especially on this high ground, as their team starts to walk forward. With their Juno and Kiriko having vertical mobility, though, I think that's going to be a little bit harder. But we're hitting some good shots to potentially win. Unfortunately, their Juno is just going to have a little bit too good of movement for me to find and clean up that kill, but that will be a-okay, since I think that we force a lot of sort of resources to get our team onto the point. Kitsune Rush being used, I'm not there, and I don't have my ultimate to match it. Our Kiriko goes down, which is going to make things a little bit difficult. Tracer on this left side makes it is something that we could look to force out, and I want to see if I can catch their recall. The idea of my Mauga potentially forcing out the recall and I could catch it would be something that would allow me to find that kill. But as our Mauga decides to look at me instead of turning around for our Mauga, I think that they're going to get a lot of value. And I can just be looking for my ult on the point. As their Juno Ray gets used, I can be looking to match it in a defensive manner with my Mizuki ult. Missing my chain, unfortunately, but I think that'll be okay for the most part. Kiriko is inside of the point area, which is going to be fairly good for us to know, and we take this right side angle to force their TP forward. I think that we're going to be pretty solid here, though. I could, I'm actually going to look for really early staggers. I see my team walking up especially. I'm looking for a chain and then just TPing back instantly. Fortunately, our team did not want to follow up, but that is a-okay. I just want to be providing options for people to potentially follow up on plays. Venture gets fairly low. I don't have my chain at the ready. So I'm going to be chilling inside this area, and I'm going to wait until they touch point. I hear their Juno main, which is going to be a play that I could potentially go for. Unfortunately, not quite able to get that kill, but a lot of amazing ultimates on the field for my team. But as it's going to be a little bit too much for us, we will be losing that point. Or losing that point back in their favor. We have no ultimates on the board, but with our Symmetra swap, our Venture should be able to get first touch, and then our entire team can potentially get onto the point. I really want to see if I can sort of deny this Juno. With the Symmetra TP, I'm going to commit to taking it with our team. Getting their Maga very low, and we are able to take them down, getting an angle onto this Juno. Tracer is clearing us up though. Kiriko and Maga still on the point. Those are the two people who you really want to be alive late in the fight. But unfortunately, with their Symmetra wall still being active, we will be going down, and it looks like we potentially will lose this game. Definitely sucks. We could have done a few things better. I could have, if I was a little bit more mechanically inclined, that would have been very good to find the kills onto the Juno that we were going for. But as I'll be missing a few too many shots, we're not going to be able to find those, and we will be going a little bit down into GM1. But all good. We look to our next game. That was fun. Mizu's just so much fun. Even if I'm like losing, Mizu's just like really fun. Such a good comparison. It's happy little pigs. Happy little pigs. I love Bob Ross. I used to watch a lot of their videos. My family actually had a little bit of a tradition where every Christmas Eve we would get like some really cheap like canvases and follow along with a Bob Ross video. I might bring that back. Low-key, I might bring that back. I might round up some friends. Get like a Bob Ross going. I think that we will play probably one more. We played 3? Yeah, we'll play one more. How do you stay positive in comp? Do you mean mental or do you mean win rate? Cause the win rate is like what I try to discuss, or what I try to showcase in this series. But mental, there's a lot that goes into it. But the biggest and most important thing that I recommend for players trying to improve in ranked and stay positive in ranked is ask yourself every time before you queue, what are you queuing for? What is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish by hitting the competitive play button or quick play button or whatever? If you're playing to have fun, that's fine. That's awesome. I regularly queue ranked with like friends. I have a few drinks. We're still trying, but it's not like end of the world if we lose, you know? So I can dedicate a little bit more of my time and like my value to like doing a little bit more like silly plays. If it's to improve, if you're trying to improve, then you can be focusing solely on like yourself and identifying what sort of value sources you can be playing for and then honing your execution properly. But understanding that the improvement factors sort of like come from you. The goal of ranked and what makes a good player good is the ability to showcase their talents to find the victory screen no matter what situations or factors happen in the game. So if you have terrible teammates, you're still going to have to win. If you have really strong opponents, you're still going to have to win. If you have really good teammates, you're still going to have to win. It's a sum-zero game, and the only single consistent factor in the game is you and your mindset. So if you're trying to improve, the best thing to do is to focus on honing the most consistent factors possible in your games. which is always you. So that's how I go about it. That's how I've recommended it to some players that I've coached. Sometimes it works for players that I coach, sometimes it doesn't. But I think a lot of the time, like taking that specific approach and understanding like why you're queuing before you queue up is really important to stay positive, and specifically not blame your teammates. I get frustrated at myself a lot when I am failing to improve. When I'm failing to improve, then I end up getting pretty upset at myself. But at that point, it's good to sort of see like why I'm getting upset at myself and try to fix the issue instead of just continuing to beat myself down. But like that general idea is something that I feel very strongly about. Know why you queue. Because if you want to just like have some fun with friends, fuck it. Flame your random. If you're in a 4-stack and you guys don't really want to like feel bad about yourself, fuck it. Like blame the random 5th person in your Discord VC or something. Like I don't encourage flaming in the game. I want the Overwatch community to be as healthy and happy as possible, but like, let's be for real. You can never truly root out toxicity in a video game. You just can't do it. So how you want to do it for each individual and focus on you is how do you make your experience playing this game the best you can? And I think a very important thing to do that is just know what you're queuing for. What enjoyment are you trying to get? And it helps me, at least, and a lot of other people stay positive. Okay, but locking into this next game here, or last game for today, we are going to be on New Junk City. I think one of Mizuki's stronger maps with a Mauga, Vendetta, Venture, and Lifeweaver on our team with the bands of Roadhog, Diva, and Reaper and Lucio. I think with our team comp, I might try to fight this left side. Wow, our Mauga's low. I'm going to get active early and now because our Mauga is struggling a little bit to live. And as I am put in a little bit of a difficult situation, we're going to be in a pretty okay spot as we stable here. I want to be kind of taking a lot of angles, I think, here. As our Lifeweaver, I'm not able to actually keep up in terms of like raw speed with my Mauga. But I am able to control space around our Mauga to enable him to run around as much as possible. Since if I'm taking a flank at the same time our tank is getting really, really aggressive on the front line, then we will be able to take away like damage that would be put on our tank. I could try to stack on front line and heal and damage the enemy Mauga a little bit, though something that I found that those kind of ideas are harder to execute and harder to find consistent value on against Zenyatta specifically, because if their Zenyatta gets a single Discord orb onto our Mauga, it will effectively just chunk 30% of their HP, which is damage that will take me quite a bit of time. I didn't mean to emote there, that's a bad habit that comes from my hello spamming. But we are able to use our Lifeweaver's Petal to get onto the Widow and chain them down for our Lifeweaver to soon take out. Now, this is where our carry potential really, really comes in as Mizuki here, because their composition is very slow and very pokey. We want to be denying their plays as much as possible and denying the space that they want to be getting into very frequently. So I want to be playing aggressive on our defense here to make it as hard as possible for the enemy team to play the game. Unfortunately, I missed both my opportunities to find chains as their team walks, but I think that maybe we are still going to be able to win this. Doing any damage that I can to the Mauga, but as they pop their shout and get orbed on the point, there's not going to be too much that we can really do. Our main carry potential was those 2 opportunities, or those 2 cycles that we had to find chains onto their walk-up, but I was not able to find the first one as it was a little bit too open of space, and I was going to fail the second one because the cage would make it rather difficult to get our chain through that barrier. But with our team backing up towards the point here. I have my Mizuki ult. The enemy team has quite a few ultimates. The main thing that I'm really scared of right now is the Widowmaker. So I'm actually going to be trying to take away space that I'd imagine would be good for her. Which would be the main area or that far left. As I see no one on this far left, I'm going to be trying to control it. Our Maga stepping main is going to make things a little bit hard. But with our Venture getting onto the Widowmaker, we're going to be able to help that out a little bit. Ana finding a crazy kill onto us, which is going to be a generational troll from me, as their Maga is still alive. Despite the kill onto the Ana, Maga is going to be one of the heroes that once they get onto the point, it's just going to be really, really difficult to get them off. We still end up somehow finding a way to capture the objective though, which can be pretty good. With our cage coming out, that's going to be my time to try and look for my ultimate to keep our Maga alive. Though as they walk further, it's going to be very hard to live. Not able to find the kill quite onto that Cassidy. But as we get our perk, we can potentially be getting a lot more aggressive and sort of fighting 1v1s, because with our minor perk as Mizuki is going to be a fairly decent power spike, which will allow us to damage people more effectively when we hit our chain on them. So we can be using that fact to take down squishies much faster, and we're way more lethal in a sort of bursty manner. I'm trying to see what our team is up to here. I hear their Cassie on left, I hear their Ana on left. I'm going to see if I can be stopping them if I can. We are able to peel some attention, but unfortunately as their Maga gets, or as they use ultimates on our front line, our Maga will be going down and we will be sent back to the spawn room. So clearly, despite I think in theory playing a little bit more sort of lane style would work, with that team comp or that matchup, I'm gonna try different ideas since it's not finding success right now. Though as we swap to Sigma, we might have a little bit more sustain on the front line. I might I'm gonna take one fight to try flank a little bit more again, and then later I'll be trying to stack on our front line if it's not working. But as their Ana uses Sleep Dart, I can potentially be trying to take some damage away. I couldn't even stay on the front line if I wanted to there. Because they were just putting so much damage into our tank, there's just not going to be too much that I can do there except for preventing their walk up in the first place, which I hit the chain onto the Maga. I tried to slow them down the best I could, but I don't think that will be good enough. A hero like Lucio would be amazing here because the main issue is that they're able to just sort of live a lot of our poke. They're able to live a lot of our steps because we aren't able to get in close enough range before they get enough damage in. As I get slept, I'm not able to help my Venture too much, but Venture was peeling a lot of attention and is going to enable our team to walk forward and get a lot of big value. As their Widowmaker backs up further, I could be looking for this kill, but I really don't want to stagger here, as if I stagger, things would get really bad really fast for us. Finding a chain onto the Cassidy though, we hit a little bit of a shot. And I want to be just carrying my Ana the best that I can, and then potentially finding kills later in the fight. It's important not to force too much here, as their Widowmaker grapples. Might be my time to get a little bit more active. Really unfortunate cage. I don't think that I'd be able to stand behind my Mizuki ult to counter their High Noon. But our Venture and our Sigma are able to find a lot of value on the point. Our Sigma stays alive. Our Venture falls, or our Soldier falls fairly low. But it's a 1v1 of tanks on the point. I think that favors our Sigma significantly. They will be getting back into the fight a little bit sooner than our team will. And with Nano Boost coming out onto the Maga, I need to be very careful about my dash usage, but chain onto the Maga will enable our team to play more. I wanted to get aggressive on that angle and take the attention of the cast. Even if I died there, I think that was one of the times that it'd actually be really important to int, because it's a big aspect about Overwatch is mechanical ability is kind of the RNG factor, where a lot of things can be sort of strategized about, but an individual's execution is going to be very, very, very hard to plan around. So a habit that I've built to kind of control factors is if I'm ever winning, if I'm ever in a winning situation, I look to kind of control the biggest RNG factor there is. And Widowmaker, as I'm sure a lot of you have experienced, can just sometimes randomly hit some insane shots to instantly turn a fight. So I want to try to take the attention of the Widowmaker or the Casty, who were the most capable of doing that. And I wasn't the most important person in the fight there. It would be mainly our Ana or our Sigma. So if they were looking at me instead of our Ana or Sigma, who just really want to be fighting on the point, we would have been in a much better spot. So despite that, while we still won that first fight, we were going to lose the last, and we'll be losing that last game for today. Definitely sucks. I really wish that we were able to get a little bit further into GM1, but sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. But we will still end in the GM1 demotion protection. But I think we talked a lot about Mizuki today and how they kind of want to be playing and the value that they could potentially get. So for my YouTube video audience, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bang. And then the editor is going to cut right there and then upload to YouTube. And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Okay. I've been streaming for quite a while now. I have some scrims and pretty soon. So I'm just going to chill for a little bit here. And then I will be ending stream to go to scrims. If I end up streaming a little bit later tonight, then I will post it in my Discord, in which if I stream later tonight, I plan on doing maybe some coaching, which I'm not sure if I will or not yet. It depends on sort of my brain capacity, but for any updates on streams, the Discord is right there, and that'll be the main place that you can see if I'm planning on like streaming anything in specific. Well, okay, now it's time to chill, talk to chat a little bit. I'm actually gonna wait. I have a fun idea to make right now. It's a good mentality to have, but it's hard to not blame teammates when you're a healer, because even if you're good, you can still lose if you're a healer. You can lose as anyone. Overwatch is a team-based game. The best players in the entire world are not going to... You can't 1v5. You just can't. Maybe like a Roadhog player or Widow player. I'm not... Maybe. But it's insanely hard, even if there's like a crazy skill disparity. But with that in mind, your approach to rank, while blaming teammates sometimes is like fine, it's generally unproductive for improvement, because there's always better, like things that you can do better, or the big thing, or ways that you could have reacted to your teammates' mistakes better. Because if there is less value happening in an area of the game in which you think that there should be value, the question shouldn't be like, how are they that bad? How are they not finding any value with their plays? The question should be, okay, how can I maximize my value with this information? Playing around bad teammates is something that everybody has to do. Everybody. And sometimes, like, there will just be, like, too many situations in which, like, you can't really, like, win. You can't do it all. But almost always, even in lost games, even in situations where you can't do more, it's important to stay focused on you and what you could have done and how you could have reacted to the situation better to win your future games. Because even if there's like one, it's just a slow and steady grind, because the more you learn, even if you aren't able to win one game with your teammates being so terrible, if you think about what you could have done, even if you don't think that it probably would have won, if you keep forming ideas in those sort of situations, those ideas will come to you faster in the future and allow for more winnable games. You will know what you can do to win similar situations in the future. I'm not saying that every teammate like is perfect and you should like only focus on yourself, because it can get pretty draining pretty fast to just constantly think about you. It can be rather damaging to the mental, especially if things are going wrong. But blaming teammates isn't always the best thing. What was I doing? Right. I'm gonna make a little preset here. Heroes. General, ultimate, bang. Bang, bang. 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 And then I'm gonna save this as no CDs mode. Basically, I think that probably as I start to stream more, anytime that I want to talk, I'm probably just gonna like turn on this game mode and just roll around on Wrecking Ball. So my therapist told me you can't change your surroundings, you can only change yourself and the way you deal with it. Type shit. Yep, exactly. My therapist said something very similar. I very much agree with it, and the concept applies to Overwatch as well. It's really, really cool. Bro, I actually rolled like the best therapist possible on like my first try. This dude okay, first session, I'm not gonna lie, because I like Overwatch a lot. I've kind of lived in Overwatch for the past several years. The majority, or not majority of my life, but a very, very huge, significant portion of my life has just been completely based in Overwatch and my performance in it. So, a lot of the ways in which I express my feelings sometimes, I like if I'm just kind of like rolling off the top of like whatever words pop up first in my head to express ideas, it comes out as Overwatch terms a lot. So my first session with my therapist, I literally said, okay, bro, first thing we gotta do, I'm teaching you Overwatch terminology so that you can understand anything that I'm saying. So we went through like what's a kite, what's a stable, because if I'm saying like, bro, that one girl messaged me back and it low-key forced all of my CDs, like they need to know what that means. I know it's corny. I just really love this game. I loved it for a very long time, and it's just kind of a byproduct of I think about even like IRL stuff in terms like Overwatch terms. But it's proven fairly successful. I'm pretty happy with how my life is shaping up. Well, because Overwatch, okay, bro, Overwatch is the sickest game ever. Because the concepts in Overwatch and the methods that you need to improve in this game are genuinely like applicable everywhere. This is one of the most applicable games to get good at for like being good at any game, being good in different sports, being good in just like life in general. There are so many things in Overwatch, or that Overwatch teaches you as you play, that I think are just so valuable. If you get into team play, it teaches you communication, it teaches you time management, communication, effective ways to coordinate different ideas with different team members. Like how to work in a team is a very important skill for a lot of people. Not always, not all fields need it, but it's generally pretty good to be able to know how to talk to people to accomplish a common goal. It teaches you how to develop your subconscious as well as your conscious thought. There's a lot of aspects of Overwatch that you can study, but there's also a lot that you literally just need to feel out. Overwatch is a micro-based game, so no matter how much you actually know about the game, if you can't execute any ideas that you form in the game, even if they're amazing ideas, you're not going to win. You're not going to win games. So I think that Overwatch is just like really, really cool, and this has been shown. A lot of the concepts in Overwatch a lot of the concepts needed to improve in Overwatch are applicable in every other game. So every time a new game comes out, you know who's always at the top of the leaderboards in it, like at the start? It's always Overwatch players. It's always Overwatch players because they have the mechanical ability, they have the sort of like understanding of how to break down like strategies and whatnot. Overwatch players are so adaptable when it comes to being able to pick up different games comparative to other esport titles, where a CSGO player or a Valorant player trying to come to Overwatch, if you've ever seen, oh my god, there's like, they come in with like an insane like ego. It's like, this game is for babies, this game is super easy mode, and then it's just like ridiculously hard. While then every single like, if an Overwatch pro decides like, yeah, there's not that much money in here, they just go play Valorant. They just pick it up in like a few months because they know like the process that you need to develop to be good at Overwatch is the process that allows you to break down and develop yourself in any game in a lot of different situations. And it's so sick because Overwatch has so many different factors going on at all different times. How I keep harping on what makes a good player is your ability to execute your ideas and find value to see the victory screen through any different, like all of these quadbillion different factors in each game. You need to be you need to be like the winning factor. You need to be what wins you your games, and actually diagnosing how to do that through different situations, which Overwatch provides a ton of, is so cool. And the skills in which, well, primarily the skills in which you need to build to do so are the ones that are applicable. It's not only the knowledge of how to build the skills, because a lot of games teach you that. A lot of games teach you how to break down an issue and form ideas properly, but Overwatch is a very mechanically intensive game as well, so that you're forced to develop like your aim or how you move or your swing. Like your swing hygiene is really, really important on hit scan. General MOBA concepts or information gathering is really important on like heroes like tank or flex CPS. Because if you need to know what's going on in your backline, you need to know what's going on or what the enemy team is trying to do. You need to know things. So information gathering is a skill that Overwatch teaches you. Movement, aiming, cooldowns, and map control. Overwatch literally covers so much. I've competed in 2 other titles. I competed in Valorant for a while, and I competed in Fortnite. Well, and a few other titles, but that's important. And the 2 like esports that I just adore with all of my heart is Overwatch and Fortnite. I play Overwatch because I played it first, and it's what I kind of got good at and what kind of just pays the bills. But I also would love spending like a bunch of time getting good at Fortnite again, because it's a similar thing, and battle royales inherently force you to hone in on your sort of like your process. Battle royales, you are literally the only factor. You well, I mean, you have to play through a gazillion different factors, but you are like, there's no one else to blame. There's no one else to blame but you, and it still provides you with a trillion billion different options. But a game like fighting games, where it's literally just like 1v1s usually, it's also just you, but there are far less factors in which you would have to actually navigate through to find value. You just need to learn like your hero's matchups really intricately. Your execution level in games like Street Fighter, Tekken, fucking Marvel vs. Capcom, Penguin Fighter, I don't know. Your execution needs to be good because it's a simple game, in terms of like what's going on in it. But it doesn't actually, like, fighting game players or FGC players are able to pick up a lot of the sort of like, what's it called? Fighting game players are able to pick up a lot of the intuitive aspects about Overwatch very quickly, but then struggle as they develop more and need theories to back up their ideas or to start forming better ideas, because their games just don't teach them that. But Overwatch teaches you like literally almost everything. One of the far off plans that I have for the channel is I want to get good at League of Legends or Dota. Either one, probably League, just because I know people. I have like oh my god, I need to hit the stop stream button soon. Okay, I know a lot of people who are really good at League. I know like my girlfriend was Challenger in League, and I think they're like Masters now. I don't know what the ranking system was. I just know Challenger. They were Challenger in League. They were scrimming semi-professionally in that game, so they can teach me it. I have just resources to teach me League. But I want to make one of those sort of videos showcasing like pro Overwatch player tries League for the first time or something. I know it's corny, I know it's been done a bunch of times, but I feel like I could actually make it super educational. Because one of my main joys in life, probably my primary main joy in life, is identifying trends in sort of like an individual's behavior to find success and communicating that to others to help them find their own success. At my core, I know I want to be a teacher. Once I'm done with like Overwatch and content and whatever else I want to do, I know my end game is going to be like in a high school like classroom. I know that's just going to be how it goes. But for the most part, it's just kind of a like I just really want to talk through my process of exploring those different environments and those different esports titles, because I think that I've found a lot of success. I've been able to like swap games consistently. Like I was able to get up to like Ascendant more like really quick on. I don't think I ever hit Immortal. I was just Ascendant, I think. I got up to like Ascendant after like playing Valorant for like a month or two. It was different than Overwatch, but the concepts that were really valuable in Valorant were there in Overwatch, just slightly less prevalent. Primarily swing hygienes and information were the two things that I needed to focus on, or the two concepts that I needed to focus on. But once I got those down, I climbed in Valorant. I climbed in Valorant very quickly. Fortnite was a lot harder because it's also a very nuanced game. And you're not just competing to outvalue like basically like 5 other people. You're competing to outvalue 99 other players, which is really cool to me. I love battle royales. And there's a lot of also Fortnite has a ton of micro. So it teaches you the intuitive process as well as the informational process, just like Overwatch. So Fortnite players also historically have a pretty good track record of being able to just roll like game swap and find crazy success kind of instantly. But it's a lot rarer for Fortnite players to game swap because they get paid ridiculous amounts. There's so much more money in Fortnite than there is Overwatch that they don't have much reason to leave, because every other esports title just pays less. What about Deadlock? Oh, that is actually the first game that I'm going to do. I have never played Deadlock. I've literally never played. Well, I played probably one game of Deadlock when I was like 10 drinks in for like my 21st birthday. I have never played Deadlock, but I've heard a lot about Deadlock. Literally all of my friends love Deadlock. Well, they love it in the way that you like love a game you love, you know? You kind of hate it a little bit, but they like it a lot. I have a ton of friends who play Deadlock, and everything that I've heard about it seems that it would be disgustingly up my alley. I feel like I could get like actually just addicted to that game. But I haven't had the time to really try it out at all. I haven't had the time to try it out, as well as I'm kind of saving it so that I can make content about it, if that makes sense. But I know nothing about the game really. But I will, once I've gotten into a sort of flow with Overwatch, of making this kind of content and the kind of videos that I want to make, and I'm happy with my skill level in actually creating the videos and my process of doing so, I'm going to dip my toes into branching out. This is a very long time from now. I want to clarify, this is not going to happen like tomorrow. Like this is, I want to be making content for a long time. If you guys continue to support me, that would be wonderful. That would be awesome. I would love that a ton. But either way, I'm going to be making videos. Just because I think that it's one of the things that really I just feel passionate about and I just like doing. Overwatch Every Day is a series that I feel extremely strongly about, and I want to continue daily Overwatch uploads. I don't have an end date in sight. Like, I want to continue it for a very, very long time. I want to just continue. Like the tone of Overwatch Every Day might shift, or the ranked lessons, I'm actually going to be updating the YouTube's channel about me, since I actually have a few projects in the works that aren't exactly ranked lessons, but they are still educational in ways. I'm gonna update my YouTube about me to be just like, I upload educational Overwatch content every day, instead of whatever it is now. I think I just like list my ethos, like my credibility or whatever. I don't remember, I made it a while ago, but I think it's like the tone might shift of like the daily uploads, but I feel very, very strongly about daily uploads because last tangent before I have to go here, and ending on like a Eevee lore note, I have had a lot of difficulties. I've had a lot of struggles in my life, mentally primarily. I was good in terms of like my achievement. I graduated when I was 16 and I was valedictorian for my school. I graduated early because I wanted to play Overwatch. I went up to my parents and I said, Mom, Dad, I want to drop out of school and play Overwatch. And they said, no, you're going to graduate early instead if you want that. But I through that period and a lot of boring, like sort of like lore whatnot, I've had a lot of rough mental years. I'm doing so well now. Oh my god, like everything like clicks this year. That's why I've finally been able to start making content. I'm doing very, very good now, but in some of those like worse periods, there was like this mainly two YouTubers who I like would get out of school feeling absolutely miserable about like my life, and I would just like watch their videos and it would just be like, it would just be comforting. It would just make things just better. I would be able to move, like get through the rest of my day because I was able to have that little like break from the daily uploads from the YouTubers Chugga Conroy and Alpharad. Usually Alpharad didn't always upload daily, but then once they started the Alpharad Gold or Plat or whatever, they had a second channel where they did daily uploads, and that was
Easy, it's
wonderful.
time to play, twin.
Shush! I'm getting there. But it was just really, it really meant a lot to me. And those videos were very, very comforting. So I want to be able to provide that if I can. I want to be able to give my... I want to be able to put myself into those videos like how like Chugga and Alpharad did and help me out. Chugga Conroy is the go, bro. I've been watching Chugga Conroy since it's so long. Oh my god, I didn't watch every single one of their playthroughs. I just wasn't interested in some of the games, but I started watching around like Majora's Mask, their first Majora's Mask playthrough. I haven't been watching recently. It's been probably like I haven't watched them in the past like few years or so, but I recently came across one of their videos after about a month or so after I started the Overwatch Everyday series, and it just made me tear up when I heard the, "Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy!" And I was like, damn, things are really better, huh? And that intro, like that simple like greeting was just, it just meant so much to me, bro. And I really want to like, I don't know, I just want to make content for people to not only like help them improve and reach the goals that they want to make, and it's why I'm so rooted in education, but I also just want to like, I just want to make content. I just want to make people enjoy, like, I don't know, things, viewing videos, YouTube, whatever. That's how I normally comment my team. Yeah, but I mean, my team is basically like all friends, where we've been friends for like years. I stopped going on like my solo grind, to make a team with friends instead. And we've just been kind of we've stuck together for a while now. But I am like, while I'm PMA in like my ranked lessons because I don't want to encourage people to be like mean or anything in their ranked games or anything like that. I want Overwatch to be a good place. With my friends, I'm gonna flame them. I'm gonna flame my friends. I can be a dickhead a little bit, and they're a dickhead back to me, and it's awesome. Did I educate my team, or are they all on the same rank already? Yeah, I did a lot of work. I helped out our team a good bit. Actually, ooh, I can make a video about that. Okay, I low-key should get going. Okay. But yeah, I helped our team get up to the sort of higher ranks that we needed to and the level of play that we needed to for a while. But that was over the course of a while. Alright, but thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I got scrims now, so helped out. No, they were all like GM players. They were all like GM champ players already, but I helped us through the, I helped them through the, what's it called, like the depths of Overwatch ranked. Also, thank you for the follow, Melifios. I'm sorry I didn't see it before. Alright, I gotta go before I forget to hit the end stream button. Bye bye!